User joined your channel.
Recheck 44.5. Recheck 30. Recheck
No one's on the net
95.8.
yet.
Back! I'm the fastest of all. I am
Normally-
speed.
Normally I'm not on Kona slot, but I have to be for Zeus purposes today. And my slot has pre-assigned radios ready, because I made sure of that when I was still on IC.
Oof.
User
Ellie.
joined your channel.
Yes.
They got rid of the fucking pilot suits.
No,
It's
but you
not
have
on
to
this
look for them
template.
yourself.
Because I've got them down as loadouts, but it doesn't fucking save it.
Because it's not on this template. I will sort that out.
User left your channel.
It's on the other one. You don't need to worry about it yet. We're not going into it directly.
Oh.
And
You're
that's
already
also
in
the
it.
wrong one, and you look out of place.
Yeah, but we don't have any.
I will sort it out. Like a gearbox having issues. Anyways, let's see, what was I doing next? Sorting out those.
User joined your channel.
Saved it. Oh.
Right. So, let's see. For now, what is the next thing? Oh, pajama. Meantime, I will pull up things.
User joined your channel. 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 User joined your channel.
Right. Oh, we have everyone here. Lovely. Let's see. Anything else we need to do? That's it. I'll have to go quickly speak to the signalers, and for now, if you could head over to the flag and head to Gravia, that would be fantastic.
Forward, comrades!
Okay.
Look up, Liet! Hurry
Copy.
the fuck up.
Air boss. I was still reading document.
Yeah, fuck.
Okay. In that case, what would be most beneficial for you is do this first bit where we're going through buildings, and then after that, do smokes.
Roger.
How long will the first bit take, roughly?
User
Pelly.
joined your
Yes.
channel.
That's okay. So I've told Jones to go mark off the towns he's going to use for 2 things, and obviously you know about Cavallo already.
User joined your
Yes.
channel.
Pretty much.
And
Yeah,
then that should be
wow.
us. And then for you, Peach.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, basically first hour.
Fuck is he?
I'm hoping done within the first hour.
Well, the lesson's not going to take that long, right? So if we
No,
just,
no,
if we just
as in
stay
the
for the
first
theory
segment.
and then...
No, yeah, I mean in terms of the first bit. So there'll be maybe 10 minutes of theory, and then we'll be going into breaching those buildings at the back over there,
Jamal, let's
and
go.
then the trench clearing, and
No.
then we'll get done.
Okay, so what we'll probably do, maybe
Come
Fly
here.
will stick around for the theory, get a refresher on that, and then we'll go test smoke stuff, and then if we can get all of that done, we'll come back to you before Flight needs us. Does that sound good?
9-5.
What time's flight need you?
About halfway through.
About halfway through for the main 2, but basically, because as I remembered, Carter doesn't need to do the theory, so he could literally even go straight into that. But otherwise, so as soon as you can, that would be fantastic. I need one of you as soon as possible, and then both of you will be needed definitely for the second half.
Okay. Because I thought you 2 might actually like to do a bit of a breaching of buildings. At least do 1 breach of building then.
I mean, if a signaler can handle 3 aircraft, then yeah, but it might be best to have both of them there.
It'd be useful to get a refresher on the CQB stuff, so yeah, we'll stick around for 1 build, and
User
then
joined your
we'll
channel.
go do other stuff.
Yeah.
I think that sounds
Actually-
reasonable, doesn't it, McFly? You happy with that?
How
Mhm.
long are you going to take to do smoke?
You just
I
gotta see
don't-
what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to co-opt a pilot, really, to test it as well, to be honest.
It might be more beneficial then if you just go away right now and do the smoke.
Are we running with Green Mag?
If you do need it right
No,
now,
not
then
tonight,
basically
no.
what you could do, if you need a
No,
pilot,
Green
just
Mag
have Carter just hover in a helicopter, and then you can just ask him questions of like, that'll keep him busy while I do the theory with the other 2.
Well, it worked with on the ground because Hendrix was just looking at it. He was like, I can't see that.
Yeah,
So,
but
Have you
basically
picked a
have
candle?
somebody
User
who's
joined
doing
your
from the air
channel.
also check from airframes if they can see it or not, because that's also the main point.
We need to find out whether it's McFly's client side wants to start with, I think. Right, we'll do that then. Let's go get some smoke grenades. Which one do we need?
Oh, we need all sorts. We need.
Have you
In
marked
fact,
the-
where are you flying
Entry?
from today, Collie?
We're going to be operating out of Gravia
User
for the
joined
meantime.
your channel.
After it, and do you want a second
We'll
transfer?
teleport ourselves over
Yeah,
to...
so we'll have 2.
User
Oh,
joined
yeah,
your
yeah.
Give
channel.
you speech.
It's just
Yes.
it's just
After it, 'cause I
just use
thought
the
give you
flag.
a
That's why
challenge, and then I
the
was
easiest way.
looking at Neo.
Gravia.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
bloody hell.
Right, so I've got that document. Hello.
STEM
Got
boys.
the document open on
User
the
joined
second
your
one.
channel.
Yeah, shame.
Right,
Okay.
so we need
Just put
a pilot
breakdown
for
with,
some
I guess,
tests.
costs and all that.
So this was
Yeah, I will do.
Carter. For the meantime,
Figure out
while
where
I
we're
go
doing
through
it
the theory
first.
with Hendrix and Jammer, I would like you to
That's
assist
sexy.
the assist both both of the signalers in finding out which smokes work and which ones don't. So there'll be a few. You just basically have to just say
User
if you can see or
joined
not.
your
If you
channel.
can see on the
Yeah,
ground,
yeah, that's sound.
then I'll give you a wildcat, and then you can also hop into the air and just see if you can see it
User
from the
left
air,
your
essentially.
channel.
So if
Yeah,
I find
that's
the best
fine.
working spots.
Where's the tall building? Is there like a...
I mean,
There's ATC there.
there's ATC, or you can have the solar panel thing over there.
Let's go over... So we'll go over to the solar panel thing.
Bloody hell.
and-
Okay.
I don't know. How far off do you want Carter to hover?
I don't know.
It's up to you guys, because
Yeah, I know, but McFly was working with it.
I can literally
about
I'll
about
fire
the
one
distance from an IP to
User
where
joined
you'd
your
have the
channel.
HLS, essentially.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, sound.
Can you guys see that?
Nope.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Which one did you fire?
Okay.
A red smoke.
Okay, let me try and fire one.
So we
'cause
could
it might
just
just,
dent
it might
or-
just be your fucking...
I'm
client
hoping
side.
it's just my client side shit.
Anyways, so for now, I'll have
Alright,
Hendrix
let's go
and
with
Jammer
these.
follow me. We're gonna. No, you guys
See
can
that?
stay here for the
You
meantime.
want me to come or do you want me to
These
assist
guys are
them?
Yes,
Yeah, I
see it.
see that one.
I'm gonna teleport
It's me
someone
then.
else for the theory.
Okay, so it's just McFly.
God damn it.
Oh, McFly's broken.
Test the green one.
Okay, so let's see.
Which one?
Let's just do it in the tent. Just make life a bit easier for now.
User joined your channel.
Do, do, do.
Dun, 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 dun,
User
dun,
left
dun,
your
dun,
channel.
dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
mean,
dun.
we have a tent. Why not use a tent? While they do their
Ah,
smoke
the good old
tests.
days.
Yeah, I think that's
Fixed.
sort of
McFly's broken.
Alright, cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright, so theory for today. Actually, I don't even know why we came in here because I'm just gonna go top of your
If you're
straight on the jets.
User left your channel.
If you're doing theory with these commands, do practice Londons with the F-35.
Sure, but taxi out quickly. Actually, I'm gonna do something else for us instead of having us here. Because it's gonna be a bit loud. And
Are
I'm going
we
to the
starting
aircraft.
fixed wing training now?
Yes, you will need if you need whatever you need for your fixed wings.
When in the 1-1s,
Are we...
taxiing straight back to the runway.
It's too loud. It's too loud.
Yeah, it's fine. I need to turn him down actually. He's insanely loud. Put it on 250. That'll be fine.
Where's he going?
Are we doing practical today or just theory?
Practical. You're gonna
Practical.
be doing...
Okay. I'm gonna keep my desk free. Oh,
What the heck
where's
is
he gone?
doing?
I'm gonna keep my desk free for now, just to write down stuff. Because if I put the joystick on, I can't write.
Okay.
So just let me know for like 5 minutes in advance when we're moving over, and I'll plug it in.
All right. So, for starters, with the document I gave you guys, let's just go quickly over
User
the fixed wing
joined your
equipment
channel.
and
User left your
loadouts,
channel.
shall we?
Good thing.
Yes.
Okay. So the document is there just for you guys as extra
User
homework in
left your
case you
channel.
need to read and find out more about it. But we start off pretty simply at the first page with the sensor suite, which is everything we went through in defensive flying, but now a visual aid to give you a quick remembrance guide. Obviously, we didn't need to give you this because it wasn't important for you back then. All you need to just know was between white, amber, and red was the main part. But now, it gives you all the information in a visual aid as well, just so that you have a better understanding. If you need to reference that, there you go.
User joined your channel.
For essentially everything you'd expect to see, whether you're locking something, whether it's something's locking at you, and so
Oh,
forth.
funny, this thing.
Turns out a bit more actually.
Alright, then today we have two flavors of options between the two of you. I will need Hendrix and you, Jammer, to give me your preference
User
of
joined your
aircraft.
channel.
That
Yeah,
preference will be what will be carried on for the foreseeable future until we get back some time to do some more training, and then
User
we'll move on
left
to the
your
next
channel.
aircraft.
Preferred airframe out of just fixed wing or
User
Preferred
joined
rotary?
your
airframe
channel.
of the two fixtures between the F-35 and the Eurofighter.
I don't know what the F-35 is like in armor, but I would probably say out of both of them, the Eurofighter is my favorite.
The reason why I'm asking is this because they handle both differently, and you only have two operations of training, and then we go into live exercises where the infantry need us every single time. So we'll not have any more training for the foreseeable couple of weeks.
Hey,
Okay.
as Jammer is also going for the Typhoon, is it helpful if I go for the F-35 instead?
Not really. It makes a bit more work on me because I'm the only one teaching tonight. Otherwise, I could just teach one aircraft, and then we can skip all the minorities of the others.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
But it's up
stick
to you.
with
If
the
you really,
Typhoon
if you
then.
want to
User
go with
joined
the
your channel.
F-35, that is also fine.
No. My plan was the Typhoon anyway.
Alright, then we can just altogether skip the F-35
User left your
information
channel.
and go straight to the Typhoon on the document.
Typhoon.
Was I not supposed to read this?
This is for
I've
you
just
to read in the free
finished the
time.
reading.
If you read the whole thing, fantastic.
Oh no, not the whole thing yet, but like everything up till the brimstones.
User
Alright,
joined your
so we'll
channel.
just
Highly excited for the Eurofighter and DCS as well.
So, anyways, you're gonna be a bit disappointed with this one. The textures on the cockpit are kind of meh, but
Yeah, I've flown the Eurofighter before. It is a bit iffy.
User left your
anyways,
channel.
moving on from the Eurofighter. The Eurofighter call sign Titan. Just remember that when you're signing onto the net, simply 1112 and so forth moving forward. So the Eurofighter is the European twin-engine Canard Delta Wing design, pretty much as the document says. Extremely
left your
focused
channel.
in air superiority, with ability to do multi-mission capabilities, so both air-to-air and air-to-ground. It has a radar, not really much else needs to be said. It's an AESA radar, one of probably better than the F-35's current radar. able to see out to 30 kilometers, even though we've not really been on a map. That's 30 kilometers plus, but that's the kind of warning you get. So if you use your control and square brackets keys, it allows you to see up to that distance if you really need it.
Is that the same as with the...
User joined
Yeah,
your
yeah,
channel.
never mind. Yeah, we've done that. I'll have to remember how it works again, but...
Yes.
Was it shift...
User joined your channel.
whatever, we'll get back to that then.
So in terms of control setup, since you've flown the C-130 Hercules,
User left
everything
your
should be the
channel.
same, apart from now if you don't have a way to lock on to targets. At the moment mine is default bound to T. If you haven't changed it, it should be still T or Tab. And also you have R, which is lock next target, which will just cycle through the available targets that the aircraft can see. If you don't have those bound now, please make sure they are bound or assign them.
Let me check.
And then last but not least, to go into a camera,
User
left
left
control
your
and
channel.
right mouse button, unless you
Where's
prefer a
that?
different way.
The weapon bit?
Should be in weapons or common, one of the two.
I'll have to wait.
I'll use the...
User joined
Wait.
your channel.
Which ones did you say? Lock target was important?
So lock on to lock target, and then also lock next target or cycle next target.
Next target.
Yes. Oh,
Okay. Oh,
well, that's
there we go
F35.
again. Oh, there's no previous.
Huh?
There's no previous target.
You don't need previous target because it will just cycle through the whole thing unless you really want to have that. You can bind it, but once I have to deal with this. Zeus, let's see where it is.
Now remember why I hate the F-35.
Well, I don't know what to do about that because you also took out 2 drones in the process.
How did I take out 2 drones?
Well, you crashed near them, so the 2 drones. Well, oh well. Anyways, moving on back to the lessons. There's still one F-35 if you want to go and try and get that one done, because otherwise you really need to get it done. Because if we can't bring back F-35s in campaign, that's a bit of a problem.
The thing with the F-35s is it's the fucking takeoff. It's the fucking takeoff.
Hendrix, which one was it in?
In weapons.
Where, like, if you go over a certain
User
speed,
left
it
your
fucking
channel.
just like thingies. But I've like literally pulled back on the stick to get that up.
Oh yeah, reveal
like
target,
at the right
lock
speed,
target,
and it's
next
just
target.
like,
So,
nah, I'm just gonna damage the hull, damage the fucking everything.
so here's the
else, like-
thing: if you're holding it back fully, it's not going to take off because you're stalling the aircraft before you.
No,
take
it
off.
wasn't. I wasn't fully. It was like it got near full when I was going like 200 miles down the fucking runway. But it was like I was going back gradually to get the fucking nose up. And then as I got past the fucking danger speed, I was just like, I need to get it off the ground before I injure myself. I can give it another go. I'll give it another go.
Yes, and if you must even try just turn the auto vectoring off and just try and take off with the nozzle pointed slightly downwards.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. Okay. Anyways, back to it. Have you guys assigned your key bindings?
I'll have to wait till I plug mine in. I've got the lock
User
target.
joined your
Actually, I can
channel.
probably do Control T just as a, in case I can't, because obviously I'll be putting it onto my joystick.
All right.
I'm all set up.
All right. Perfect. So then we'll just continue with the theory, and then we'll get it to that point eventually. Once we're done with the writing, and therefore that'll give you enough time to plug in your joystick and check the buttons.
Yeah, it won't take as long. Take literally 2 seconds.
All right. So moving on to other things. With the controls.
User
Tasks
joined
so
your
quickly.
channel.
Okay. I'm just gonna. It's fine.
User left your
Let it
channel.
go.
Oh. I'm just gonna quickly just observe in Zeus what's happening, just because I have to see this.
Question: I know the
Practicing
Eurofighter
our
does
training.
do two-seaters, but does the RAF actually use the 2-seaters at all?
The 2-seater is not a mission-capable thing. It is just a mimicked pilot cockpit in the back for the instructors.
Okay.
So it's
But is that
not
for just the RAF, or is the 2-seater
every
versions
Eurofighter
of
in
all of them?
existence.
Oh, okay.
So there is no need for a 2-seater
User
Eurofighter
joined your
apart
channel.
from just having a training instructor in the back seat.
What jet was the RAF using that was a 2-seater where you had the
User
whiz up
left
in the
your
bus?
channel.
Tornado, that's it.
Anyways, see where before I lose my train of thought again. Okay, so we have our controls set up, and that should be that. So yeah, going back to the rest of the statistics for the aircraft, it is a one crew aircraft. Obviously, size and weight doesn't really matter that much to us in ARMA, apart from landing length. So the extra bits of wingspan, height, and so forth are just some fun facts for you guys in case you wanted to know it, including the engines and so forth. Maximum speed ARMA, even though technically it's a Mark II aircraft, the maximum speed we can reach in ARMA is currently 1,500. I still have to figure out how the aerodynamics work in supersonic before I can code it properly for that to work properly. Combat range, even though it says 3,709 kilometers, we're more limited in fuel due to Spittle's script. So again, once now we get to 0.5% of the fuel, it will go yellow, and your words would be caution fuel on the radio. Meaning it's time to let everyone know that, okay, you're letting Window 23 know, okay, my aircraft has half the fuel, I only have half the time left now from whatever has just happened. Sorry,
Okay.
the time that's just elapsed. Let me see if it takes off before I continue. There we go. Okay. So, with that said,
When is the bingo fuel?
Bingo fuel will happen once it reaches around the engine square in the top left. So you got engine, you got hull, engine, and then fuel. Once it reaches, hull, that's when it will start to flash between amber and red, and that is bingo. Which means if you reach bingo, it's not a question of when you should start thinking of heading back, it's you're heading back to the airfield now. Obviously, sometimes airfields might be a bit further than bingo fuel, so if you go full throttle, you're going to finish that fuel quickly, so you have to also kind of coast it back as best as you can. Which also means limited go-around, so if you have to make a go-around, make that one go-around count, and only if you really need it.
Okay.
What's the landing speed of the Typhoon?
We will get to that.
Oh, sorry, because I couldn't see it in the...
Not a problem. So, the Typhoon operation speeds are about 200 for the landing. Obviously, you can go a bit slower. What I'll have you guys do in the air a little bit is do some practice maneuvers. Get the aircraft into a stall, recover, make a mental image of what the stalling speed is, and then add a safety factor that you feel comfortable with this aircraft. Because I won't be there like in the C-130 to assist you. So I want you guys to experience and see what the physical limits are. And then afterwards, you're going to recover from them and then make yourself a set of rules to follow. Obviously, with the Typhoon, everything happens a lot faster than the C-130, so instead of like a plus 20 fudge factor, give it like maybe 30 kilometers per hour, 40 kilometers per hour, whatever you feel more comfortable with.
And what is the landing speed the same as the takeoff speed?
With a Typhoon, I believe the takeoff speed is 250 to get airborne, but you can be still flying at 200 for the landing. But just to be sure, start off with 220 and then just come back down, because I haven't flown the thing in a while. I may have forgotten the takeoff speeds. Okay. And also, whenever ARMA updates, things also tend to break or change, and I've not checked this more than a while.
Okay, I have an additional question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can we do a flyby at the infantry?
If you guys can end up flying in formation, yes, but we're going to be bombing an area of Kavala north of the infantry.
Ooh.
But anyways, we'll get to that. That's more for later in the night. So moving on to the aircraft. Actually, let's go to the aircraft and let's go through some weapons on them. So if you come with me to the front of the aircraft.
Hey, another one with a Dutch flag. Behind it.
That's not Dutch flag, but anyways. Alright, so with the aircraft's loadouts, let me just quickly put every loadout on the aircraft so that we can have everything as we go through the explanation. Let's see, pylons. We'll have the Iris T's. We'll have some.
Can we do guessing?
Hmm?
Can we do guessing? You put stuff on it and we guess what it's called.
For time on a Thursday, I think I'll have to just go through it quickly so we can get through the practical part, unfortunately.
Okay.
Let's see, have that there. Let's have that there. Let's see very quickly. That one. That one, Ancona likes these, but I'm gonna just put them for show because he likes them. And that's on it. Oh yeah, that one.
And does the livery of the jet change on what map we're using?
We have no. They're separate liveries, just like the Chinooks.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Wait, is it really called livery?
Livery.
Livery. I thought it was livery. Sorry.
All right. So let's start off from this end and going through the missiles. So the Typhoon. Actually, before we even go into the missiles, the aircraft itself has a couple of unique things towards itself. So, for example, the aircraft is
User
equipped
joined your
with
channel.
a 27 millimeter Mauser BK-27 cannon, which is actually on the right side, so about this location, but on the right side of the aircraft. It's not physically modeled,
User
unfortunately,
joined
but
your
that's
channel.
where the bullets come out from, and that's where the location would be on the real aircraft.
Did he say 20 millimeter?
27
User left your
millimeter.
channel.
Now, this is all so in the document, so you don't need to write down this bit because it's all available to you in the document.
Okay.
So this part, it's if you want to write down for yourself, but otherwise, it's all in the document, so you don't need to. So, with that, the aircraft also has additionals onto its avionics and subsystems. Obviously, like every aircraft, it has a radar warning receiver, which will detect enemy radar signatures, missile warning receiver, which detects also the missiles, and a laser warning receiver. That one I have to double check. I don't know if it's simulated on this thing or I simulated it, but either way, it should have a laser missile warning receiver for IR missiles, such as an AIM-9 if it's locked onto you or something like that, or similar to the Russians. It also has the towed radar decoy as part of its electronic countermeasure suite. So if we come over here to the back on this side, in here you've got 2 radar decoys which will be extended on ropes. You have the option to deploy them when you're going air to air. Obviously we don't need to have that deployed, but essentially you can deploy it. It will hang out in the wind like a little basket, and it will send out a bigger radar signature than what your aircraft presents to enemy radars. So if the radar missile come towards you, it should rather lock onto it about there than hit your aircraft instead. Apart
That's
from
only
that,
for radar guided missiles then.
yes, radar guided missiles, or when you're doing seed, taking out
User
SAM
left your
sites in those types of scenarios.
Does that mean you can, like that means you're very safe and you can take a lot of hits, or can you only take one hit with that?
No, if you can only possibly take one hit, and if it gets destroyed by the missile, you've got only a second one, but also they have
User joined your
limited, so
channel.
after you've used it, it has a limited recharge capability. So it takes a lot of electricity from the aircraft, and it has to recharge. So you have about 60 seconds of radar countering before it needs to recharge, and you're back to just chaff and flares in a non-stealth aircraft. So then once you've done that, you also got a secondary warning system that will let you know on the other wing, and it will say in the bottom left when something has been locked onto you. For example, ECM unavailable, pop, chaff, and flare. It will give you those kinds of scenarios as well in the F-35. Let me know. So after that, we now go onto the aircraft's armaments. What you're going to take to with the offensive. So that's defensive. You got chaff flares, the towed decoy, and an EM electronic countermeasures and warning system in the other wing that tells you more information. For your offensive, you have got 13 pylons in this aircraft. Those 13 pylons, you can see them marked out in the little diagram just below the...
Rest in peace.
Is that an officer?
Huh?
Drop it. Just...
I think his belly broke.
Telemetry player. It's Carter. Where are you? There you are. And he should be healed now.
Oh, fuck's sake. Fuck.
User joined your
Why the
channel.
fuck am I that zoomed in?
User joined your channel. User left your
Alright.
channel.
Ron yelling. Okay, yeah, continue on.
So
You were saying.
back onto the diagram in the document, you can see the different pylons of the aircraft.
Yeah.
All the pylons in red, you can mount weapons onto it. Apart from the ones which are red with a yellow, apart from the ones which are yellow ringed around them, those are where you can mount the fuel tanks,
User
the
joined
external
your
fuel tanks in
channel.
this aircraft. Except for the center one, which can only be mounted a fuel
User
tank
joined your channel.
or the camera pod. Now, at the moment, there's a little bit of a bug where you can still use the camera pod without actually having it physically there, which means you have a free pylon in the center just to put extra fuel. But otherwise, that should be changed in the future. All the other normal red pylons are where you'd mount your armament, and then the green bit is where, as I said, the Mauser cannon would be located on the airframe. With me so far?
Okay. Yeah.
So, the armament goes as forward. You'd only want to take 2 infrared guided missiles, and those will be mounted on the outer pylons. So if you come with me this side, on this outer pylon here, this is an ASRAM missile, as you can see from the first one in the documents, which has the same functions as an AIM-9. The AIM-9 is actually on the other pylon on the other side, if you also want to have a look at that for visual reference in ARMA.
Oh, it's not the same.
They're different.
I thought the ASRAM was just a description of what an AIM-9 is, but it's
No,
just
they're
different.
2 different missiles.
But
We
it
use
does
the
it
ASRAM.
do the same thing?
Yes, it does the same thing. IR locks, but technically the British should not be able to use AIM-9s, but ARMA, so it's there as an option.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I wasn't sure that the RF used AIM-9s when I saw it on the chat.
But it is comparable, and Ancona has put it in the documents, so as long as whatever Ancona puts in there, I have to just teach it anyways.
Okay. But
So
2
we have
ASRAMs, did you say it?
2 ASRAMs is what you'd be putting on the... Actually, I think it's an Iris-T missile, but anyways, there's an ASRAM in the option when it comes to loading. And I'll have you guys load up this aircraft soon.
Okay.
So, the explanation of the AIM-9, I'm pretty sure you both know where it is, but just so that we can cover that, it has been said, is an infrared-guided missile that is a fire-and-forget weapon. Simply used, if you have an enemy aircraft, enemy helicopter, lock onto it if it's within range, and you can fire off your missile. Not really much else.
That's locking on via your helmet, right? Not via the radar.
Via the radar to point its direction of where to lock on.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But you're basically using the radar sees where the enemy aircraft is, and the radar tells the missile, hey, I want you to look over there, I see an aircraft. Missile looks in that direction, finds the aircraft, you fire, it kills.
But you can't use your sight then to lock onto enemy.
You can also use your sights.
Okay, also, yeah, okay.
So you have different options between either cycling next target or looking onto it and pressing T or tap, whatever you have for lock on.
Will it tell me to
fire?
Will it tell me what range I can fire it?
Yes, we will go on to that. That's more for the next lesson. We'll talk about air-to-air fighting in the next one. We just have to get all the weapons out of the way. Then the next missile that is of importance to you is the MBDA Meteor, which is equivalent to the AIM-120s, but has a much further range and a more efficient rocket motor, which is this next one right over here.
Oh, but it's a different color than in the document.
The one in the document is a test missile.
Okay.
But anyways, so the MBDA Meteors are again radar fire and forget missiles. Locked on same way with your radar. It also has its own inbuilt radar, and that's how it searches and seeks targets. Now, the options of where to mount these on the aircraft, you have got a few, which is you'd mount the extra ones the next pylon over from the end, or you'd mount them on the 4 body pylons on the sides.
Which you have done right now.
Yes. The body pylons would only ever mount the medium range air-to-air missiles.
You can have a max of 5 of these.
You can have a max of 6.
Oh,
so
6.
4 in the center, and then you can have 2 on the sides. And if you really wanted to push it, you could also use this extra pylon here to mount extra if you're doing a full air-to-air only loadout. that would be the more realistic way. Otherwise, in technicality, you could mount a
User
meteor
joined
on
your
every
channel.
pylon except the center one. But again, that's now going beyond the. That's really pushing the stock of the RAF at that point in most cases.
Okay.
All right. Then we move on to the following missile from that, which is the AGM-65H and Ks, known as the Mavericks, which are on this side. The Maverick, again, is a laser-guided...
The brown ones, right?
Yes. The Mavericks are, again, laser-guided or infrared-guided air-to-ground missiles. Ankona's a fan of them. They're not in the RAF stock. I want to get rid of them, but he's in charge. It's whatever he says goes. Put simply, again, you can fire it by locking on with your targeting pod and firing and locking onto a laser, or using the targeting pod to find a target and locking onto it with your radar and telling the Maverick where to point its seeker head.
Which one is the infrared, the H or the K?
That I do not remember because I never go with them in flight.
So there's an English equivalent of that then?
Yes, which we'll get onto now.
Okay.
Pretty much you can find out in training if you do want to use them, but otherwise, I just prefer to simplify my method, and as we move on to the next one, the simplified method is to use the MBDA Brimstone missiles, which are these three right next to it. The MBDA Brimstone are laser-guided, similar to Hellfire-type missiles, obviously with a better range than the Hellfire, and...
When you say Hellfire, I think I know what it is, but I'm not too familiar with it.
The ones on the Apache.
Yeah, right, but that's also...
We'll get onto that in another day, but just for simplicity, it is similar to a Hellfire. At this point, we don't have the ones which have their own inbuilt radar. These are just the laser-guided ones, which you lock on with your targeting pod, and you'd fire until it hits its target. These can be put on the stations where they are right now. So you can have one on this side and then one on the other side, giving you a total of 6. If you needed more, you can then put them on the next station over, and then that gives you a total of 12, 6 on each wing, if necessary.
So that's our go-to air-to-ground missiles.
Go-to air-to-ground, yes. It should be capable of taking out most things. Some tanks might be an issue. T-14 comes to mind specifically.
Yeah, with all the entire... yeah.
These are active radar or
semi-active laser-guided. So you have to constantly monitor it and make sure it gets to its target. So if your laser can't see it, it cannot see it either.
Yeah.
Or have somebody on the ground point a laser for you and then have it hit the target on their laser, if that's a better option.
Mm-hmm. Had a lot of issues with that with the Phoenix and DCS and the F-14.
But anyways, so that concludes in terms of our air-to-ground short range. Now we go for our long-range air-to-ground missile. Essentially the party maker of the RAF, the Storm Shadow.
The big... Oh yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have much description. I hasn't gone to writing it yet. But the Storm Shadow is a long-range air-to-ground cruise missile with the highest explosive capability that we have currently in our arsenal. And it's a fire-forget lock-on GPS guided, so you'd have to put in the specific grid of where you'd like it to hit, up to either 8 or 10 digits if you want it to be as accurate as possible to about half a meter. What can be said about it is that it has a minimum range of 40 kilometers to 60. The range is 40 to 60 kilometers. Currently in ARMA, obviously, if we ever needed it for a map that's big enough to handle it, then we're pretty much ready for it. But otherwise, in most cases, you can fire it before getting even close to the AA, as long as you know where the AA is located. And this is our most used seed weapon for the aircraft right now.
Do you guys use that already?
Yes, we use it. It's already in usage, but some people prefer to still. In the case of McFly, he preferred to use the jammers on the F-35 and then fire brimstones at the SAM sites instead.
Okay.
But anyways, then moving on to the next bit, which is our specific guided bombs. So we have, in this case, I have not put the paveways on here, but here we have got the GBU, well, enhanced GBU 12s, paveway 2s. You'll see the difference when you are loading the aircraft, because a GBU 12 normally is just a laser guided bomb, but the enhanced GBU 12 means you can also give it a grid reference of where you'd like it to hit. So if there's no laser available, the bomb can still hit its target as long as it has a grid reference.
Oh, that's cool. So if there is a laser, then it will still follow the laser.
It's up to you to choose what you'd like it to follow. There's two options of how to fire it in the aircraft, and we'll go over that later.
Okay.
Then, the next one is the Paveway 4, which is the most popular. Again, similar to the GBU 12. Similar in terms of explosive capacity. These are the GBU 12s are 500 pounder, and so is the Paveway 4s as well, 500 pounder. But the Paveway 4 is specifically Raytheon UK built.
And then the Paveway 2, how much explosive pound whatever is that?
It's also a 500 pound bomb. It's just the Paveway 4 has essentially a enhanced guidance computer. Basically, in real life, it just improves the accuracy, but we have both models. So whether you choose the enhanced or the paveways, that is up to you. In the aircraft, it will do about the same thing. And then now we move on to the next one, which is not here, but looks exactly the same as these, is the GBU 16 Paveway 2. Paveway 2 meaning that's the guidance seeker at the front of the bomb. Meaning it's still part of the older GBUs, which does not have the GPS guided and is just laser guided, but this is a 1,000 pound bomb instead.
Oh.
So if you ever need more power, that is an option for you there if the GBU 12s are not good enough for you. Now with the paveway, with all these GBUs and paveways, if you remove the guidance at the top, you have the options to have just dumbfire drop bombs, which can be mounted on the station that is currently having them, as well as the next station inwards of it. And you can have essentially up to 12 bombs that can be just dumb dropped from the aircraft for a carpet bombing run. These would be the Mark 82 and Mark 83 bombs, which are currently not in the document, but you barely use them because the 6 will never let us have that much explosive fun.
Carpet bomb on Vietnamese children.
So yes, and that concludes our armament, apart from the fuel tanks which are carried where currently the Storm Shadow sits, and in the center pylon where there's currently already a fuel tank as well. And that is the armament for the Typhoon. Any questions?
Yes, about bombing. Say, I know a lot of modern aircraft you're able to put the capabilities in, so they drop in like 2s, they drop every 5 milliseconds or every 5 meters. Are you able to do that?
There's a mod we're looking at to get in the future that will allow that kind of functionality.
Rippling, that's the word, yeah.
There's a mod that would allow us to have that kind of functionality. It's not currently implemented, so at the moment it's how fast can you click the button.
Okay.
That's only relevant for just dumb dropping, right?
Yes.
Ripples.
Otherwise, in reality, you'd not drop more than one laser-guided bomb at a time.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to do the ripple fire technique, which we have is a 5-second interval, you drop one, 5-second interval later, you drop the second one, and that allows Uda 2-3, for example, to slave his laser to a different location for the second bomb to land at a different location. But obviously that's more used for our laser-guided missiles rather than the bombs.
Okay.
So yeah, any other questions before we move on to the next part?
I'm ready. My body is ready.
Lovely. So Carter, so what I'll need you to do is option A, because I can't pass the training until the landings are successful, unfortunately.
Like, literally, that landing was going to be successful, but apparently my fucking gear went up as I was literally on the final approach, and I didn't have time to put it back down.
And if the gear is down, what is the right thing to do? I mean, sorry, if the gear is up, what would be the right thing to do? And you're not going to make the landing.
Go back around, but I was already committed, and to be fair, I thought the gear was down, and then I heard the noise as it stowed, and I was like going down.
Right.
You get what I mean? I literally had like 2 meters to go before I hit the ground.
If just as a good always final check is just to make sure once you reach long final, just be sure it's like, is the aircraft completely ready for me to hit the ground? So just keep going like through a double check. I know it can be probably annoying, but just on long final, just make sure, just check. Okay, flaps, are they down? Cool. Gear, is it down? Cool. Runway, is it the right runway? Cool. Is there an aircraft on it and it's clear for me to land? If you're unsure of any of those things, just go around no matter what. So, if you wouldn't mind to continue some practice on the landings, and then they will also be joining you in the flying of it. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to do a bit of a rearming exercise for the aircraft, because you have to be able to rearm it both for air-to-air and air-to-ground. Now, the rearming on this aircraft is not as easy as the F-35, it's much more intuitive on the F-35, but we'll get you on it very quickly. So I'm just going to extra one so I can also talk you guys through it as I'm going through it as well.
Definitely.
F-35. So not F-35, Typhoon.
I'll have to go on yourself while doing this.
Okay, so first things first. Whenever you have the aircraft, if you come over here, you want to make sure you're within 150 meters of one of those. Why do we need that? It's just so that it can activate the rearming script of it. Now obviously from outside the aircraft you have the, and before you even hop in, you have the simple rearm. When you look at it, obviously don't turn on the ECM jammer on, don't need to do that because it's just going to waste it while it's on the ground. I don't know why that's even an option. I didn't make the script for this aircraft, I just edited it so it would fit our needs a bit. But then others, you have the option to rearm it on the ground, refuel it, and repair it if you want it to be just quick and you're really rushed for time. Otherwise, for immersion sakes, you would, for refueling it, you'd get a fuel truck, grab the hose, and plug it in just to make it a bit more realistic and not just have the aircraft 24/7 ready. As it, and then, of course, repairing, you can just scroll it to repair it as well if you want to. Otherwise, you can also use ACE to repair it, just like we did the Chinook exercise a while ago. So yeah, with that said, once you have one of these within 150 meters of the aircraft, you can then hop in the cockpit and it will allow you to open the AMS light menu. So, if you pick an aircraft each, gentlemen, and just hop onto it.
You want to go on?
I'm in the wrong outfit.
Yeah.
And you forgot your helmet, both of you.
Why is that?
I mean,
We're not flying.
we're not flying, so it doesn't matter.
But we're still in it, bruv. Okay, I'm ready.
It's a weird bug for some reason. Alright, so just why is mine having a bug? Bear with me 1 second. Alright, gentlemen, so if you go on your scroll wheel, you will see the open AMS light. Do that for me when you can.
Yeah, done.
Now, this system is not as intuitive as it could be. So for simplistic sakes, I'm gonna, if you look at the document, and you go to the loadouts where you have the different pylons, think of it as this. You're starting off from pylon 1, which is on the left. Actually, is it left or right side? Let me just quickly load something onto that, just to quickly check. Okay, sorry. Pylon 1 starts from the right side. So think of it as pylon 1 from going top to bottom on the document that I gave you on the Google Doc. So you'd go pylon 1, then pylon 2, the next one down from it, then pylon 3, the next one down from it. Then now we reach pylon 4, which is, if I can remember this correctly. One moment while I just double check this to be sure. Okay, so pylon 4 is a bit different.
Wait, is it correct in the document? Because I
Yeah.
think the fuel was not on the third from the top, but from.
Yeah, sorry, it's on the wrong. It's on the wrong. It should be on the yellow ones on the real aircraft, but it's actually on pylon 4 instead. That's where the fuel is. My mistake on that one. But anyways, thank you for spotting that, Hendrix. So yeah, so back to the rearming menu. So yeah, pylons 1 to 4 are from the right wing. So you go basically out once, then pylon 2, then pylon 3, then pylon 4, as you would. So then pylon 1 would be, for example, your aim 9s, and then you'd put your brimstones on pylons 2 and 3, and then your fuel tank
User
on pylon
left
4
your
if
channel.
needed, or an extra set of
User
bombs
joined
or a
your
storm
channel.
shadow. Then from there, we have pylons 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those count as your interior pylons for the meteors. With me so far?
Yep. Yeah, but 5, 6, 7, 8, I can't. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I'll explain, don't worry about it. So pylons 5, 6, 7, 8 on the hardpoints menu. That's the one where you want to be clicking. You're not going to put anything on it just yet. And then from there, you have pylon 9, which is your center pylon, which has the lightning pod and fuel tank. You can click on it and just so you can see how the different weapons are available in the menu. And then you have pylons 10, 11, 12, and 13 going from the inside out on the other wing. So yeah, going from the inside out on the other wing. One second, I have to go into Zeus. Yeah, back to the pylon system. So yeah, as I said, from pylons 10 going up to pylons 13 is essentially the same way as the other wing, but now you're working your way outwards to the very tip, which would be pylon 13. Make sense?
Yep. So 1 to 4 is the right wing. 1
Yep.
being the tip.
Yep.
4 being the
Inner.
The inner, and then 10 to 13, 13 being the tip. So it's obviously it's opposite ends basically.
Yes.
Okay.
So system makes sense for you guys both?
Yeah.
I think I've got it working.
Alright, so what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to give you guys individual pylons I'd like you to set up. So for Hendrix, I'd like you to set up on your tips your Azra missiles. Then the next 2 inners on both wings, I want you to set brimstones. Then have a fuel tank on both wings. And then meteors and a fuel tank.
Hey, don't be too fast.
Don't worry. I'll repeat as many times as you need me, and then afterwards, Jamal, are you ready for yours? What I want you to set
After
up?
the brimstone, it's fuel tank, right?
Yep. And then your interiors will always be the same, no matter which aircraft configuration you're flying. Will just be the meteors on the interior, and then a fuel tank in the center.
You want to hear something weird? I can only select pylons 8 to 5 if I click pylon 9 first.
Alright, and Jama, are you ready for your setup?
Yes.
Right, so for you, on your tips, again the same thing, Azra missiles. Then I want you to have 2 brimstones on the next one, on the next pylons, followed by GBUs 3 times on the next one, and then let me know once you're ready to continue on. Hendrix.
Sorry, can you repeat the last one? I got to brimstones and then 3 times what, sorry?
GBUs and enhanced GBU 12s. Let me know once you set those. Kind of, if you want to try with the Eurofighter, maybe if that's easier, then I can at least certify you for that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, say again.
Yeah, I think I've got that done.
Okay, and then obviously the next one would be fuel tanks.
So 5 and 10.
Yep.
I can't see the fuel tank on 10. Sorry, 5.
Sorry, no, it's not 5 and 10. It is 4 and 10.
Oh, okay.
I've done what you told me.
Oh, perfect, Hendrix. All right, now if I were to tell you to switch to an air-to-air mode, what would you change on your aircraft?
Do you want me to say it or do it?
You can do it if you want, and then we'll see if you get it right or not. So Java, and then pretty much for the interior, as from the explanation, it should be the same for every aircraft with the 4 MBDAs and just a fuel tank in the center. You know what, Hendrix? Remove your fuel tanks and chuck in also some 2 Storm Shadows in your next one. Perfect, Jama. All right. So Jama, I would like you. Actually, yeah, perfect on that one. So the next one. So when you're ready for the next one, I want you to go to an air-to-air loadout as well, but this time I want you to keep 2 sets of brimstones.
Yeah, sure thing.
Alright, perfect, Alex. And you feel happy with how the weapons are set out in the aircraft's list?
Yeah, I understand how it works. It's just onslaughtig, that's the Dutch word that we use for it.
Was it time-consuming and tedious?
Tedious, I think that's the word. Like it shouldn't be that hard, but it is. But I don't like the fact that you don't open up with your current or previous set loadout. But if I press repair now, oh yes.
Yeah, so basically what happens if you don't want to have to keep setting up your loadout, if you're happy with this loadout and you want to continue with that loadout for the rest of the night, you just keep pressing rearm.
Quick question, what's the difference between an ASRAM and an AMRAM?
An AMRAM is the AIM-120s. The ASRAM is the infrared missile. Don't get those confused up. So Hendrik, if you feel happy, you can hop out the airframe and then we'll go on to the next bit. Alright, so you're happy with that. Let's get the next bit.
Tedious. Is that a literal translation of onslaughtig?
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's a literal translation.
I don't see that in the document.
What?
Which one?
The AIM-120.
No, so we don't have AIM-120s.
Ah, okay. They're just in the menu.
MBDA Meteor is our AIM-120.
I think I've used this system before, the AMS with the F-16.
Yeah. The AMS on the F-35 is much better. Anyways, the next bit, let me get a little box, and after
I think it might be a bit overkill. I think I did one of them wrong by accident. Yeah, the iris on mine, it was meant to be I think I was meant to have it clear. I think I clicked assess by accident.
Oh, and the thingies. You can get them in 3s as well.
Yeah, I know, but I heard 2 sets. I wasn't sure if I was going to bring just 2 sets or 3 sets.
You can bring 2 or 3 if you want. That's up to you as a pilot. But the thing is, this is an American missile, and we don't use them.
That's an AIM-120.
I think I was going to press MBDA, not
Yep.
that one. Sorry.
So yeah, make sure it's the meteors because also you're sacrificing the range of the missile.
Yeah.
While our MBDAs can shoot much further out than these AIM-120s even in armor.
Why do Americans not use the
Meteors?
The meteors then?
Because it's not American built.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's very American.
Yes. Anyways. Quite
For an
simple.
air-to-air loadout, would I deck the whole thing?
Yeah, you'd pretty much just change out the brimstones and have it
but
like
have
that.
the fuel pods instead of the long range agent.
Yeah. In the case of Hendrix, his is more of a seed type loadout. So basically, seed is just pretty much air to air, but then you're adding extra things to take out the things on the ground as you see fit.
Okay.
So yeah, let's see if this is a good landing.
Fingers crossed.
Typhoon. He doesn't have gear.
Yeah, I know. Wait, does he not have gear?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
Down won't stop it. No helmet, no nothing.
I did it.
Can you taxi back?
Make him do it again.
Got his gear.
I know he doesn't even have the helmet on, which is really bad. But anyways, that's what we're gonna get on to the next thing.
Me because I think the engine got damaged somehow. Probably because I rolled it slightly.
You didn't have your gear up. Down.
I know. I need to try and figure out a new fucking button for the gear because it's doing me head now.
Well, the aircraft should be repaired.
Yes.
Do you have fuel?
Yes.
Take off and try again. Alright.
Out of 10 landings.
Huh?
No, nothing.
I just got back. Let me just, let's use this. I'll just put this down here. And inventory, clear it.
My frames are stuck, hold on.
Let's just get the...
Arsenals?
That's not Arsenal. I'm literally just gonna put the suits in there. Which is actually no, I'll put the Arsenal instead.
We should still have it stayed from last when we first joined.
Yeah.
And
do actually full Arsenal work?
Okay,
Sometimes it doesn't for me.
So it's Ace Arsenal. What I'm gonna need you to do is once you get in there, go on the uniforms. And then we're gonna talk about the gear. So once you're in uniform, scroll all the way down until you reach R for RAF. And then you'll find the RAF flight suits.
Yes.
Ooh, flight suits.
Hey!
That are just a gimp suit with extra steps.
Where is it? Not that one. I think it's this one or is it? Is it number 4 or 3?
It's one of the tight-looking ones, whatever they are. There's like 3 versions of them.
Yeah, so
You get
basically
the
4 or
rolled-up
3 in
sleeves.
olive is the ones you want. 4 and 3 in olive, or in tan, you'd want either 3 or 4 again in tan as well.
Oh god, 3 looks a bit weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
4, 10.
How do you write on the notepad with flight?
The reason why it's tan is because in case you're flying in the desert, technically the RF uses.
You can write on it, I think.
And then once you have gotten
I don't know how.
that,
I can't hear you over
vest.
Oh,
No, vest
Pilot
stays the
survival
same.
vest.
You can just leave. You can leave the vest the way it is. That's fine.
Okay.
Because that doesn't affect you at all. But the reason why we have the suits is because in case they mess up the template and G-forces is turned on, this will be the only thing keeping you from blacking out. And then last but not least, in case you don't want to lose your beret, you can either just take it off before you go into the arsenal, and then
yeah, that's what makes ours an 8 on it.
just take it off before you go into the arsenal, and then once you go into the arsenal, you want to get the
something MHS.
JHMCS2 specifically, because that is the one that the Typhoon pilots use, and it's also similar enough to the F-35 pilots.
Ugly.
was weird.
Well,
Colours
what I
don't
do
match.
is I have a notepad on my
That's
phone.
just how it
That,
is.
what's the name of it? Sorry.
JHMCS 2. Wait,
That was.
Carter,
that-
where's the plane?
It's on the end of the runway. It was on the end of the runway.
What? Oh, it's at the end of the runway, okay.
For some reason, as soon as I landed and you repaired me, for some reason my fucking frames took an absolute shit.
But yeah, why am I actually wearing the tan one, but whatever.
No, sorry.
Oh wait, they've got an arsenal. I'm just gonna steal it.
Fuck off, you prick! I'll beat you.
Hey.
I still can't find it.
Stay away.
Just go in helmet and headgear, and then you'll find JHMCS.
Looks like you're wearing a gimp suit, Cully.
You
got crotchless trousers on.
That's where you can pee.
Is it?
She suit.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, if you don't
G. Okay.
bullying
There we
There we
or
go.
2IC, or I'll put an IR strobe on your head.
Have you found
Without
my?
you knowing.
Have you found
Drop a
my?
bomb.
I have a
plane
frag
yet?
grenade. I shall
Ellie,
pull
have you
the
found
pin.
my plane yet?
And I'm not
Yes, I
afraid
found
to
your
use
plane.
it.
I will teleport you to your plane.
Yeah, don't.
I'll teleport him. Oh.
I can't use smoke, so.
Okay. Hey,
So
you're broken?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I can
it's
throw
him.
smoke, I guess. So.
So you just okay.
It's
fair
one
enough.
of his client-side mobs fucking with the
Yeah,
smoke.
leave me alone.
Imagine going to signals and then not be able
Right.
to throw smoke.
So what I need,
Who's flying?
Carter.
Where's Stallion? I can see him on
Is
the
it
seat out.
supposed
Why
to
is he
do
doing?
that?
Why is he doing vertical?
Oh
Why?
Just don't.
What is he doing?
Pull the gear up.
What is he doing?
Did he crash earlier?
At
Only
least
5
4
times.
Okay,
4
fine.
times! Because we were back
well,
at
if he's
Sword.
taking off like that, I can see why.
Because we were at Sword and he just runs by us and goes, I hate the F-35. And I was thinking, didn't I just see him at Gravia?
What the actual fuck was that takeoff? That was cursed. He thinks he's a fucking Harrier.
Okay.
Wrong way.
Anyways, so yeah, Carter, if you could just get 2 more landings actually, because we'll have to get the ratio up.
That'd
And
be
then
funny to
afterwards, we'll have you do some air to ground with the signalers.
Beep,
Oh,
boop.
yeah?
If you
I
can
wonder
get me.
if
Hi, oh, Jammer, you're actually here.
Yes. Anyways,
He
so
was here last week.
gentlemen.
No, I mean, I thought he was claimed by the COVID.
Oh, right.
So, let me just quickly brief you guys on what's going to happen. So basically, in Gravia, they've marked off a little box of where the infantry want to have. Like, that's theirs.
Neo Chori.
I see 3.
Or Athera.
Do you see in
Kavala.
Kavala?
Oh, yeah, Kavala.
They want that bit where Spiros marked off, which means Aglero Chori is ours, and I would like you to either A, have targets Zeus down vehicles or whatever you see fit, or B, have essentially buildings as targets.
Oh, you want
We can
Aglero
GBU
Chori.
build.
like right
Yes,
next,
essentially.
right next
So the
to
plan
the,
is, I want you guys to have the buildings so we can minimize collateral damage. So this is part of you guys to understand collateral
What?
damage, and essentially employ weapons that you would essentially choose for specific buildings, and just say,
Brimstone.
yes, brimstones will be there. There'll be also, I'd like them to use all the weapons, so that even use 2 storm shadows, 1 each.
And you
So,
tell him to reduce collateral damage,
No,
and you
the
say
storm shadows are
Shadow.
not going into the town, but you can use
Oh.
it in the town if you want to experiment and see how bad the collateral is.
okay.
There's my
Right.
notes. Where's my notes?
But essentially,
for author?
I want you to do it all in the form of 8 lines for what they will be doing.
Oh, do you want to try the laser
Shit.
codes?
If you
What?
can try the laser codes if you
I
want.
don't know. We don't even know how they fully work.
Yeah, how do the laser codes work? That'd be useful. I was going to ask you about them anyway.
Make
I mean,
Control
the-
Shift page up.
Pilot would also have to change his laser code to match, I think. But anyways, just for simplistics, let's just keep it without changing laser codes, just because they have to learn.
I don't even get an option to change it, so
We'll
unless it changes in the.
just keep it the same. Anyways. Jama and Hendrix, both of you know how to get into the camera, right?
Typhoon sounds sexy.
Control right click.
Yep, control right click.
Where's all my ordnance notes?
I'm right here, baby.
That's true. I could just ask you, but I've got it all written down what all of the different munitions are.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
works for me.
control right click works, and you've know the lock on item for it. So we'll have them doing some lasers for you, and I'll have after once you've locked onto their lasers, we'll have you do some self lasing as well in the process.
Okay.
So, geez, we haven't even gone through how to do how to fire the things and target them. Okay.
You probably need to do that.
Don't worry.
Yes. Unlike helicopters, which we haven't gone through yet, and we've had to kind of skip it, of the aircraft, you have to essentially create yourself a run path to the location. So your first pass can literally, you can either be orbiting, for example, if it's an AO, let's just say the AO was just tiny, and if you can look over at Kavala on the map, if the AO was tiny, you could essentially orbit the whole thing, and just use that as your time to essentially get your lock-on ready as needed. Once you have your lock-on and you've given an ingress path from Widow 2-3 or Widow 6-7, say it's from the west for your ingress, you would then fly away around, get yourself lined up nice and ready. At this point, once you're flying straight and level, that is... Is he landed?
It worked!
Okay.
It did it!
Alright.
Quick question: are we, if we're in the camera and we're trying to slew the camera, how do we fly at the same time?
So what you're gonna, you can still fly and slew the camera at the same time. So what you're gonna do essentially is while you're in the circle, get the aircraft nice and steady. That gives you a few seconds to operate the camera. It will come depending on how proficient you feel at the aircraft. But essentially, what you're gonna do is get the camera, press Control T, which will lock it onto a specific point, and that way it will stay on that point where you've last looked at. Once you've done that, you've gotten your target locked, it's still on Control T, so it's going to maintain looking at it. If you point on a vehicle, it will point lock, which means it will follow the vehicle as necessary, unless the vehicle goes behind a building or a tree, then it will lose lock. So, once you go and lock on a vehicle, this doesn't mean you're ready to fire yet, it just means you know that there's a vehicle there or a building you want to destroy. You're then going to prepare yourself for the shot, get into position, say it's you're coming from the east, from the west I mean. Fly straight in from the west, and you're prepared before you even enter the AO, you're still flying straight. At this point around here is where you want to look back in your camera, make sure it still is what you expect it to be.
Alright, that was successful. Can I get a refuel?
Refuel? What happened to all your fuel?
You burn it going vertical.
Yeah, what happened to all those GPUs as well?
Fuel pods on here, mate.
Sorry, what?
I've got no fuel pods on this. It's like half fuel, so I think
you're fine if it's half fuel. That's just the fuel without the fuel pods.
It's just fucking, like, canvas, so I shit myself. Take one more, take off, runway.
Yeah.
2-2 left. Max climb.
Yeah, just... Anyways,
it'd be cool if we can do the airstrike as well, the infantry are also going to
that's what they said they wanted as ambiance.
So, thinking we'll set ourselves on top of hill 266.
You want to set up there?
Yeah. Not 266, sorry, 119.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
the wrong hill.
Yeah, I mean,
shut up!
It's a little pinch.
He's not even put his gear on. There we go.
Okay. Anyways.
Even the signals get annoying.
Anyways, once you
I know it's wrong. We're in the middle of training.
Anyways, I'm about to lose it as well. I'm literally about to lose it. Anyways, after you've passed, once you've gone on the camera, you've basically confirmed that it is what you're expecting to look for in the target.
Okay.
At that point, it's now preparing also the arming by pressing F to cycle through the weapons. There's two things that have to be remembered. For simplistic, let me just bring out your L22 for now. It should be unarmed. Or if you have a magazine in there, it will be white in the top right, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So normally you'll only see at the moment by pressing F it switches between full automatic or single burst, single shot, right?
What does that mean?
So when it's in the airframes, you'll always have just the single bar. Now, if you have a single bar on its own, it means the enhanced stuff, like say the enhanced GBUs, none of that is active. Which means if you have put in, like say, a coordinates for the Storm Shadow or for the enhanced GBUs, they'll pretty much just fly off straight and ignore everything. If you have a laser down and you've locked onto said laser, it will follow to the laser. But once you press F again, that little bar will then have a little triangle appear above it. You'll see it once you get in the aircraft.
Yeah,
Actually, you can get the aircraft now. Okay.
I can't wait to know what it's about.
Well, do you guys fly in first person? Or
Depends. I think when I've been doing the fixed wing stuff, I've been doing it in first person just because of the hood's a little bit nicer to use.
Because if you, what he's talking about, if you in the bottom left of your HUD, it will say "I target" or whatever, or whatever the other option is. Probably fucking dumb bomb or whatever.
Which is the same, which we'll get to for a different time.
It's the same thing though.
The Typhoon has a parachute for landing?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
He's going to check. Anyways, but yeah, pretty much it depends. You have to basically know which mode you are for that weapon. So that weapon, you might press F and be like, oh, I thought I switched to the next weapon, but it's still the same weapon. It's because of the different fire modes, essentially.
The triangle modes are now relevant?
Yes.
Is that coordinate based?
That's basically, so if you put the coordinates in the I-target system, which we'll go on to after we do this first set of just simple bombings usage, the I-target system will go over it, and that's basically how you use the coordinates, and you can use essentially GPS targeting.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, so basically know if you're in the triangle, it will, I don't know if it will still target the laser guided, but that's something I haven't tested properly either. But basically know if it's, say you're using the brimstones, it'll only have one mode, and that's it. It doesn't have the little triangle, but if you're using the enhanced GBUs, you'll get 2 versions of firing modes for it, and you want to make sure it's without the enhanced targeting mode put into it, and that way you can just use the laser guided ability of them. Make sense?
That's all we need.
Yeah.
If you're confused, you can go into the aircraft and I can re-explain to you as you go.
I'll wait until we're finished talking.
We're pretty much done for that one because we're only going to use so far GBUs and brimstones for today, and maybe a cannon run or two, but I'll get into that afterwards.
Get my stuff set up now. Just give me 2 seconds.
Do you want us to go there now, or do you want us tell us anything else?
Could you run through them the 8th line of what they'll be expecting from you?
I did that last time, didn't I?
Yes, but that was unguided.
That was unguided. Well, it's the same. It's the same
process.
Yeah, but
we'll do it.
Well, yeah, Peach, you did it because I did last time.
Cool. So you know what the 8th line is, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jabba?
Sorry, I'm just plugging my joystick in. Yeah, I remember.
Sorry.
Just if there's anything else for them to be cautious about, and things like the wave off.
Well, I can imagine it's gonna be a lot harder while you're moving at a lot higher speeds and there's no hovering available.
Which is where it now will
it's
come
piss
to
easy in
use.
the fix, man.
It'll come down to use the
I'll
pilot.
explain it in a second, but Gecko Burr. Pardon me. So first on IP, obviously, what the IP is. The hold point, IP/hold point. So we don't do hold points for fast jets. You'll probably be put in like a holding stack by Pele or Ancona, which I'm sure you'll get taught about at some point. So there's no hold points for fixed wing CAF. Bearing is just the bearing of the target from the IP you're going to try and help you get the plane pointed in the right direction. The target from the IP, from the ingress point, and it'll be accurate to within 0.5 of a kilometer. I'll give you a rough idea of how much time you've got to until you overshoot your target. With your target description, most of the time it'll probably be one of 3 things. It'll probably be infantry, IFV, or MBT. And if the target's moving, we'll also give you a sort of bearing where it's moving. In the target description, the grid, we'll give you a grid figure, a 8 grid figure. Mainly useful for stationary shit.
Can be 10 if they're using the Storm Shadow.
It can be 10 for the Storm Shadow, but if you're not using the Storm Shadow,
or GPS GBU.
Yeah, all that. Mark.
Mimi. Sorry, there's a cat on my keyboard.
There's a cat called Mimi.
Mark will primarily mark things for at least for fixed wing casts with laser. So that'll be the primary designation. So keep an eye out for our little lasers flying about. And it's important. A little note there. It's important because some of the other sections, some of the other detachments, FSG and I believe a couple of the section leads have low flams, and some of them like to be retards and wave their lasers around. So if you notice that happening, you need to tell us, and we'll try and lock that down because they did that one night and it frustrated me.
That was in the pre-campaign, right?
Yeah. No, it was the end of the campaign.
Oh wait, yeah, the big compound assault.
Yeah. So basically, they were waving their lasers and shit around and caused flight to hit targets in the wrong order, which fucks things up. So if you notice that, let us know, and I guess we'll give you a heads up. 7, friendly situation. If there's friendlies nearby, generally about 500 meters, we'll let you know if there's friendlies and what bearing they are from the target. But if there's no friendlies within 500 meters, we'll say no friendlies because and then egress, we'll just give you the typical directions like northeast, southeast, and we'll try and make it sort of within 90 degrees of your ingress angle as well, because obviously you're fixed wing aircraft. And then at the very end of it, we'll give you remarks. Remarks contain the usual stuff like AA threat, what ordnance we want you to use.
From your channel.
Anything else we can think of, really.
Yep. And the final thing to add on is that when using the highest explosives, such as GBUs, obviously Storm Shadows, you won't be able to see it, but for GBUs and Brimstones, 100% make sure, even if 423 has given you friendlies locations, make sure you do not drop that weapon unless you are 100% sure there is no friendlies. Because
what is the explosive range of a GBU 500 pounds?
You're probably looking anything within about 400 meters.
Okay.
But sometimes we get you to drop things pretty close anyway, because the infantry like light shows and they're in cover and shit like that. So
about 200 meters, but either way, radius 200 meters. That's what I've.
Yeah, most of the time whenever we call stuff like that in, we have a pretty good idea of where friendlies are and whether you'll hit any of them. So.
Okay.
But if you feel uncomfortable, if you like there's friendlies really close, then feel free to ask us, and we'll either be like, yeah, they are pretty close, or nah, drop it anyway.
Okay. All right. So then just sorry, Peach. I forgot to ask if you were done.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Okay. So pretty much just the last few things before they head off and get the targets ready and the area ready of what they're going to call in. I would just I'm struggling to even get my words together on this. But basically what we're going to have is I'm going to have you guys load up the airframes, and then you're just going to do a few quick maneuvers in the sky just to understand the limitations. And then for your first 2 drops, you're pretty much just going to take your time, get relaxed, get familiar with how you'd have your process set up, because obviously there's no one there with you in the airframe to help kind of guide you on and give you tips. It's kind of learning on your own at this point for the airframes. So what I will say is I would like if McFly and Peach, could you guys orchestrate the extra signals net from Old Flight?
Boy, you want 4.6?
Yeah, I've set it up already.
Why do you want
that? So basically, I'll have one aircraft on 4.5, just for initially, just so that you guys, one is giving one set, and then obviously then another signal is giving another set to the other pilot. And then afterwards, once they both feel comfortable with it, try and mix it up onto one net and see if you can get multi-target missions to different aircraft out on the same net. Just to sort of
Okay, I'll take the OG.
Okay, I'll take 0.6.
Well, I suppose you're the OG, but
yeah.
You know.
And then to throw the mix, we'll also have Carter as well, doing a few air-to-ground runs. In his fixed wing of choice, I'd prefer it to be the F-35, but if it has to be the Typhoon, because the aircraft has to come back.
Can you not fly it? You don't like the F-35?
That it's too fucking twitchy for me.
Twitchy? Oh. Prepperino.
That's that
It's more of
stream
a
insight.
It's better we find out this here than we find it out in the campaign, so no worries. Okay, so yeah, so pretty much to Hendrix and Jama, I'd like you to arm up with on the aircraft. So I want you to use the most inner pylon to essentially have enhanced GBUs, three of them on both sides, so you have 6 in total. And then I want you to just have brimstones on the next 2 pylons onwards, and that's about it for now.
Okay.
And this thing takes GBU 16s.
I mean, it can. Do you want the GBU 16? I was hoping they would have multiple drops.
Okay,
what about the fuel?
For fuel,
That
you can just have you can just have the center tank in the middle. That everything else will just pretty much remain standard as it looks right now.
Right.
Okay.
If you're done with us, Pelly, we'll jump over to the hill and start setting stuff up. Yeah.
Yep. If you have the thing set,
Actually,
I'm gonna jump
Ellie,
also
I has idea.
Yeah.
Because are you happy with me free landings with the Typhoon?
I have to do the whole. So basically, now we have to do a simulation of going on a
User in the
mission,
channel
doing the
timed
drops,
out.
and then coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, so can you stick a thingy over there so I can arm up?
Sure. I'll just make a copy, and then you can just arm it up as well.
Yeah, sounds. Unless you want to if I do the F-85 and I'd bring that home, if you want to class that as the free runs, then yeah.
I'd prefer it to be on the aircraft that
User
you're
joined
going
your
to
channel.
use for operations. So basically, we count that you're operationally capable for air to ground, as well as the landings for said aircraft. And then next Sunday we will do air to air as well.
Sound.
All right, gentlemen. So I would like this to be on follows. Hendrix, you'll be Titan 1-1, Jama Titan 1-2, and Carter Titan 1-3. I'll be listening on 44.5 and 44.6, so I'll not be available on 3.0 if you need me. You will get your assignments of who's going to which frequency in the air. So for initial takeoff, all I want Hendrix and Jama for both of you to do is just get the aircraft, learn the stall speeds, learn where you can, the speed at which you can fly the aircraft without taking your hands off the controls. Here's a little tip: if you want it to not dip its nose down, you can essentially just put one set of flaps down. Jama?
Yeah, hello. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't hear because I was in the actual seat. I couldn't hear you for what you said for most of that. I thought you were talking to Hendrix.
Okay, I'll give it a little briefing. Second, Hendrix.
Loadout ready for check.
All right, loadout
User
is
joined your channel.
good.
Am I okay to taxi?
Yep, feel free to taxi takeoff. Just for the moment, stay in the southern bit. Stay like over the peninsula. Don't head over Pyrgos, and don't fly over Kavala yet. So just head south and then just keep doing a few, circles. Figure out how the aircraft flies. Figure out its limitations, that kind of thing.
Roger that.
Carter, what I'll need from you after Hendrix has gone off, head over to a similar area and then await further taskings as well. Otherwise, you can continue doing some landing practice after Jama gets off. Alright, Jama?
Yep.
Okay, so you see Hendrix's loadout?
Yep.
So yeah, pretty much that's what I want you to have on your aircraft.
So brimstones on the outers and then in the interior GPUs.
Yep, and then pretty much just have your standard MBDAs on the center of the body with one fuel tank, and then of course your Azra missiles on the outside.
Okay, right, I'll do that now.
And then from there, what you're going to do, just like I gave Hendrix, you're going to take off, head south. You're going to do some practice of figuring out how the aircraft handles. Just do like a few flips, like literally play around with the aircraft.
Yeah, sure thing.
And then afterwards, I'll head over to those guys and we'll get ready for bombing runs, and we'll talk you down if necessary. I might even do 44.7 if it really comes to it.
Okay.
But otherwise, you'll have talk on those frequencies if you need any help.
Yeah. So for now, I'm fine on 445 and 30.
Yes, until you get assigned. You'll take off and then you get assignment. Yes.
Does this craft have automatic afterburner?
Right. Okay. I'm gonna hop in and start
Negative. It
changing
does
this
not
up.
have automatic afterburner. You have to. It's a scroll wheel, but you shouldn't need it for today.
Roger that.
Oh, it's a lot of desync at the moment. Holy shit. Right. I'm gonna hop in.
Okay. Hendrix, also be advised, I just informed JAMA as well. For the moment, you'll be on 44.5. Once you get assigned your frequency and where you're going to be talking, you will also receive, if you have any issues with the aircraft, you will receive talk on that frequency, whether it's 44.5 or 44.6, on how to engage the targets from myself or McFly, depending on whoever is with you.
Yeah, roger that. I got 44.6 set to long range 3.
All right. So, pretty good for now. As soon as you're ready, just let me just get comfortable with the aircraft, and then I'll get other things set up on the other end, because this requires a bit of coordination.
Roger that.
Alright, out of short range now, going on to long range for any further inquiries. Gentlemen.
Oh, bonjour, hello.
Okay, so what's happening is that they're just going to be flying around the southern area, around Zaros, Pergos.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry. It's just so for you. So basically, just going to be flying in the southern area, and then what I'm going to have them do is that you're going to then Peach is then going to contact. Peach is going to contact them when they're ready, and then Peach will then assign them who's going on which net. So Titans 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. So as the head signaler, Peach will then decide who he assigns to your net for other further tasking.
Right. Okay. Shakespeare, you want to tell him?
Yeah. So Peach, just so I can also inform you of what's happening. Currently, they're going to be taking off. They're going to be just doing a few maneuvers just to get a bit more acquainted with the airframes, like you know, how they handle and all that. I'm going to then message them once they're ready to then contact you on 44.5, and then you will assign who you see fit to McFly on 44.5. So you'll basically say, for example, Titan 1-2 contact Widow 67 44.6 for tasking. Return frequency when tasking complete, for example.
Right, okay.
Which is what they did in the old 6th, and also that's technically what they do in real life air traffic control and handoffs.
So go over again, sorry?
So you would say, for example, hello Titan 1-2, for tasking, contact Widow 67 on 44.6, return frequency when complete.
Right, okay. So they'd call in that they're ready on the normal net, and then...
And basically, they'd only return to you once McFly has given them tasking complete, return to 44.5.
Okay. Give me a second, there's a Russian wandering around.
No worries.
They're not supposed to be fucking wandering. Fucking despise the headless client.
So, yeah, that is that. I'm just going to give us a little bit of a TFAR down so that they can... I'll just put down my TFAR place.com.
Right, have you been able to spot them all, McFly?
I've spotted a few groups of infantry. There's obviously that tank destroyer thing to the... which I'm lasing now, whatever that's called. And
the
then...
BMP-3.
Okay, and then there was one I spotted. I could only see the crewman's head. Where the fuck is he gone?
Titan Flight 908 Command. Radio check.
Oh yeah, there he is. I see his head and the other dude over there.
Where?
To the direct south, pretty much. I'm lasing it.
Oh yeah. What are they? Are they the tanks? I thought the tanks would be in better view than they are. I think I might.
Oh yeah, and then there's the T90 there as well, actually.
Oh, there they are. Is there a way to change the thermal settings? Because at the moment it's like the thermals are dark as everything else.
I don't know. Might be a server setting.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
there should be 4. Let me double check. There should be 4 building with infantry. Then there's the T90s, and then there's the BMP.
Roger. Shall we distribute targets then, and we can get the 8 lines ready?
Yeah. Give me a second. try and just make sure I can see all of the targets from where I've set them up. But I'm not sure I can. Some of them are obscured. I can't see that one. Why can I not see that one? Behind a bunch of trees. Let me just move that one. Can't actually see them ruskies.
Pelly, this would be perfect if I had my goddamn tripod in Soflam.
I'm just putting a little falling stack to the south.
Nope, I killed them. Dropped it from too high.
Lol.
Titan Flight, 908 Command. Be advised, holding stack Lexington is to the south. For the new guys, be advised that is essentially a racetrack pattern that you will fly around while you wait for 8 lines before continuing on. Let me just make sure they. I think they can hear me with this with the SATCOM, right?
If you don't move, yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Do you think if I point my laser at the guy's eyes for long enough, he'll die?
Let's quickly check and see if they're.
Well, it nearly worked on the goalkeeper. Well, that fucking building I put them, that new one I put them in is also obscured.
Back 1 second.
Roger.
Give me a second, sorry.
Titan Flight, 908 Command, radio check.
Titan 1-2, okay, just having issues with the arming system.
Hendrix Jammer, can you hear me as well?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Alright, yep, perfect. Okay. So, just a quick thing I completely forgot to mention. Whenever you get a chance to check on your maps, down to the southwest corner, there is holding stack Lexington. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to fly towards it, and then you'd fly around it clockwise. Essentially, it is a racetrack pattern that you're going to follow as you wait for 8 lines, and that should be also within range of Widow 2-3 and Widow 6-7.
Roger that.
So yep, also don't fly with full fuel, because with your throttle full, because you're going to waste your fuel and then you'll have to RTB soon. Obviously, just take your time and let us know once you're either bingo or caution fuel, which is halfway and it starts to go amber. If you have any problems, again, use your airframe radios because they have longer range than your backpack radios.
Yeah, but setting them up will take more time. Wait, in an 8-figure thingy, what's clockwise?
Turns to the right.
Gravia traffic, this is Titan 1-3, leaving airspace 3. From the left? Oh wait, it's a circle.
Yes, it is a circle, and you just fly around it to the right.
Okay, yeah, no, then I understand. I thought it was an 8-figure. Or like an infinite loop.
Right, so yeah, just pretty much maintain your turns around there. And for your backpack radios, you don't need to set them up. It should automatically set the jets up as soon as you press set jet. The jet is active because you've already set them up on your backpack. It'll copy it over. Any issues? Let me know.
It doesn't copy over, so I need to do it on the ground next time.
Alright, Roger. As long as... Yeah, McFly, radio check?
Titan 1-1 arrived at HS Lexington.
Roger, he should be able to hear us.
I believe he flies on 44.6.
Yeah, Roger. Wait one. Affirm. I can hear you. Everything will be fine. Cool. So, whenever you have finished getting to understand your airframes, just message Rio 23 with your call sign and let him know you are ready for a tasking.
Okay, but what about the use of our armament, or is that for later once we have our tasking?
I've set my line.
Basically, Rio 23 will then ask you what armaments you have available, and then he will assign you a tasking as necessary. It will go through the whole procedure. Don't just contact him once you are in holding stack.
Roger that. Out to you. Hello, Widow 23. This is Titan 1-1, ready for 8-line tasking, over.
Widow 2-3. Move to net 44.6 for 8-line tasking and return to this net once complete. Over.
Titan 1-1.
Oh my god, Pete, that sounded so official.
I know. Could you tell by the way I said it really slowly? I had no fucking clue what I was doing.
067, this is Titan 1-1, ready for 8-line tasking, over.
Roger that. 8-line tasking is as follows. Ingress through IP Bravo at bearing 230. Distance is 2.1 kilometers. Target is 1 times BMP3 at grid 0366 1367. Mark will be laser. There are no friendlies, and you will egress south. Over.
Titan 1-1, read back as follows. Ingress via Bravo bearing 230 at 2.1 clicks, 1 times BMP3 in grid 0366 1367. Mark with laser, no friendlies, and egress south. Over.
Roger that. Read that correct. Remarks are, if preferable, use a GBU as there are nearby enemy friendlies as well. Over.
Enemy friendlies?
Oh, right. Sorry, not enemy friendlies. Goddamn enemy infantry.
Yep, send message.
There we go.
Be advised, when you're flying around the Lexington, make sure you're flying on the outside of the
as of enemy infantry
circle.
around it.
Hey, my name's McFly.
Sorry,
I'm
oval
confused.
of the holding stack essentially. So make sure you're on the. Keep it always on your right side.
Oh, okay.
En route.
Just try to get used to the controls. It's very sensitive.
See, this is why I wanted
Take
the
as much time as you need in the holding stack
SOFLAN.
if you have
You don't have
to
SOFLAN.
get ready.
No, I have one as in because I suggested a mod and it put a SOFLAM on a tripod for realism, and Spittle denied it.
Denied.
Before you request your 8-line, just make sure you have full control and you're comfortable with the aircraft first.
Make sure you're comfortable.
Ah, jeez.
Then with a GBU 12. Fuck him.
Billy?
Send.
McFly didn't talk me through, just gave me the 8-line, so I'm ready. I just don't know where the target is, and I know where the target should be, but not fire my aircraft and how to do the rest.
Roger. Okay, it's pretty simple. So at this point, you can leave holding stack Lexington. You will then fly in the direction of the AO without entering the AO, and then you will look for the target by laser. So you'll go on your camera. You can switch it to thermals and lock onto it that way, or you can use lock next target until your sensor suite locks onto his laser.
It's magic.
Once you have
Doesn't show a laser.
Which means you are too far from the area.
I got such a giddy feeling, Peach, when I put that marker down that says taxi.
So you can fly to the northeast of the AO, which is where IP Bravo is for you, and then from there you can then.
I can't remember what the marker was. Fucking
find the laser in that general area.
In the future, if they want us to call, Spell wants us to call an airstrike,
circle now.
We'll actually just set
see
up
a
a high
red
ground separate from it
icon
and actually do it.
Oh, you're so sexy.
We can't really do it whenever we're attached to
when
it.
you say, there's a white.
Yeah, there's a section.
cross.
Oh, we've got a MBT in front of us,
red,
and we're
but
just
if you can't
behind
see,
Spittle in the
look
middle
at
of a
your camera
fucking
while you're
city.
flying straight into the AO to find the thermal laser.
So I think if they're doing something like a city assault, we'll.
Has he got turret enhanced, Billy?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know if he has it. Oh my gosh, what the heck is wrong with this thing?
He's dead.
Did Jim?
Oh, no, it's just.
When you say display, you talk about
There's
a
lots of
sensor.
comms. I don't know. I'm on 4.6, mate. I don't care.
Second?
When you talk about display, you talk about the sensor.
Yes, I'm talking about the sensor.
Yeah, then I can't see it. Yes. So now I can. Oh, that's.
Talking to me?
Okay, I'll get used to it.
Wait, when I have to restart.
You see the bearing on the
Question: is there a way to have my aircraft set on a trim so I can hold?
Oh yeah.
My kind of altitude.
Is that
Use
useful to us in any way?
It will help a little bit.
I don't think it is it?
Well, if we were at the IP, it would be a bit more helpful. But
yeah.
Disconnected.
Start team speak. Why is it being annoying?
Connected. Channel switched.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, perfect. It's working again. I think it was not
Well,
working.
Roger. Laser's hot. Ingress and ready.
Send again, Jam. I just got back in.
Alright, Hendrix should be ingressing.
Just saying that it's helping quite a lot now.
Just be careful you're not hiding the laser under the BMP there.
I've
1-1,
put it
ingressing
behind
now.
it, because I know ARMA doesn't like it when you put lasers on objects.
Yeah.
So I usually put
Can
it
you hear
on
me
the
okay?
ground
I said it was,
from
it worked quite well.
He's pickled.
Okay, Roger.
Where did you see the pickle?
Oh, I don't know, he just said he's pickled.
Oh, did he? He's not very, very fast.
I see the bomb!
Yeah.
Hey! Oh, okay, we just leveled the whole fucking block.
That was a 500, was it?
Probably, yeah. Wow, the BMP's fucking alive, but it's decrewed, so I guess that works.
Tell him to repeat it and give him the guns. Finish off the crew.
Oh, no, there we go.
BMPs just take. BMPs for some reason have like this. They take a few seconds before.
Hello, Widow 6-7. Seems like a BD Alpha to me. What's your eyes? Over.
Make sure you give
Yeah,
him the BDA.
Roger that. BDA Alpha. Feel free to return to 44.5 over.
Nice.
Fan 1-1. Roger that. Out.
Okay, so he's
Your
should be heading back to home.
Hello, Widow 2-3. This is Titan 1-1. Returning to.
Which group of
HS.
infantry have you done, Peach? And I'll do another 8-line.
Lexington.
I've
finished
done
8-line task. Over.
the infantry in the building bearing 193 to us. Close. A laser. There you go.
Alright, Hendrix, well done on the first one.
Oh, you've done those
just
ones,
stay in
okay.
hold here for a little bit. Let's see if we can get Jama in on one.
Roger that. Got a question. Don't know if now it's time.
GBU'd it like I told him, and now half the block's gone. So collateral damage
So,
minus.
I use the GBUs.
Worth
They
it.
give a general idea of where it will drop and guide it.
Not that bad.
Is that a good indicator
Yeah,
to
yeah,
determine
yeah.
when to drop as well, even though it's laser guided?
Yes, you want to drop it roughly in the area of where it's going to land, and then it will do its final guidance with the laser. So if you
Roger
drop
that,
it
okay.
over in the water, it's not going to make the turn to where the laser is.
Oh, you done those dudes.
Okay.
Alright, Jama, so whenever you are ready, get your 8-line, and then we can do a talk on for this one, and then for Hendrix, once Jama has been handed over to 44.6, you can request another 8-line from Widow 2-3 if he has one.
Roger that.
Yeah, I might
Oh,
need
wait,
a
Peach
bit.
has the
Are
8-line
you able
on.
to
He's on
swap to
4.6.
Oh,
the
then
jet's
never mind.
radio while flying it?
Make sure you write up another one, and I'll
Yeah,
give you
I'm
Hendrix
ready.
again.
I need to swap over to the jet radio because obviously the long range is being a bit funny.
No, we can hear you fine. It's just it's a bit quiet. I may have to increase volume.
Waiting for the magic words.
Yeah. Promise Jama is having a little bit of trouble. But
Yeah, it's alright. Teething issues.
it'll be better if I had more time. We're cramming everything in 2 days of things.
Widow 2-3, this is Titan 1-3, requesting 8 lines.
Okay, he's 1-3. Okay.
Widow 2-3, 8-line is as follows. IP Echo, bearing 000, 2 kilometers, building infantry, Grid 03881392. Mark Laser. No.
Widow 2-3, cancel that for now. My audio is messed up. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Did I put the T-bot?
Widow 2-3, Roger, cancelling. Out.
Send. What's the problem?
Can't hear you. He's gone rogue, boss.
Cendric's got brimstones.
Yeah, he should have. They have everything except the Storm Shadow.
User in your channel.
Okay,
timed
cool,
out.
cool.
Which is the GBUs and the brimstones.
Can you see the tanks better now?
I saw one tank on the road, yeah.
And you can see the barrel of the second one poking out from behind a tree.
Damn, Inquiry.
Well, I've got an infantry section all 8 lined up, so.
Nice.
Audible is 2x5.
Okay, I can hear it a lot better now.
Widow 2-3, radio check.
User joined your channel.
Widow 2-3, ready for 8-line tasking, are you? Over?
Ready for 8-line tasking.
Titan 1-3 is ready for...
Titan 1-3, I couldn't remember his call sign. He's Titan 1-3.
Yeah.
Widow 2-3, roger that. 8-line tasking is as follows. IP Echo, bearing 000, 2 kilometers, building infantry, grid 03881392, mark laser, no friendlies, egress north. Read back when ready, over.
God, I'm fucking brain farting today.
One point I might make is obviously he's coming from the south, and you're on the north with a laser, so he might.
I might shift the holding stack north.
He might struggle to see the laser. But...
Well, what I'm going to try and do is I'll basically dump the laser on the roof.
Titan 1-1's caution.
And hopefully he'll see that.
Oh, sorry, caution, jeez.
But I basically want to do it that way because it's cool to have them fly over you.
Understandable.
Rule of cool. But yeah, I think in future we'll try and make it. Should we make it standard procedure to get them to fly from behind us when doing cast stuff? Because it makes their bearings and stuff easier, doesn't
Well,
it?
that's why for my next one, so you can see the laser, I've made him come from behind me.
I'm gonna do the. I'm push the holding stack so also radio is just a bit easier.
Oh, Peach would be so fucking good, mate, if we had the sofa.
Widow 2-3, this is Titan 1-3. I did hear, I was just trying to get my played steady.
Widow 2-3, no problem, read back when ready, over.
Gemma, if you need help, why do flaps 2? Make it sure it's above 300 kilometers, and then have your throttle on 20%.
They're helping each other. Fantastic.
Oh my god, they never did that when I was there.
Widow 2-3, possible to read back 8 lines?
He wants me to read back.
Widow 2-3, roger that. 8-line is follows. IP Echo, bearing 000, 2 kilometers, building infantry, 03881392, mark laser, no friendlies, egress north. Read back when ready, over.
Okay, I was hoping you had a entrenching kit.
No.
Titan 1-3, read backs as follows.
You could make our
Ingress
key position even
through
more.
IP Echo, bearing is 000, 2 kilometer range, building infantry, laser as the marker, no friendlies, and egress north.
He just completely missed out the grid.
Widow 2-3, correction, grid 03881392, over.
Titan 1-3, copy, roger that. Grid is 03881392.
You kept saying that last stop.
Widow 23, read back. Okay. Remarks. Utilize GBU 12. Over.
Widow 23.
Utilize.
Remarks are as follows. Employ GBU 12s.
Employ. Widow 23. Ingress when ready. Over.
Give them hell.
See, Peach, here's my arguing for our
Send
Sophie
Titan
Lamb
1-1
thing.
to 44.6 if you could, Peach.
So,
say again, sorry.
Send the second one of the other typhoons to McFly.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Carter or.
What's he Titan?
Actually, hold on.
What's Carter?
He should be Titan 1-2 now. Then 1 second.
Well, I'm ready.
Titan 1-2. Carter, do you read?
No. He writes.
Hey fam, go ahead.
Roger, if you could shift over to holding stack Lexington and then advise 023 when you are ready for a 8 line, and he will transfer you as necessary.
Hey fam.
Be firm. I love being firm.
Or if Titan 1-1, you are ready for another 8 line, also advise Widow 2-3.
Sure, I've only got one ready.
No,
What do you
Okay. Yeah, no. It's whoever gets there first. Okay.
Oof, it's going to be a race, but they're both at Lexington.
Widow 2-3. Roger that. Transfer to 44.6 and return once tasking is complete. Over.
Hiya, welcome to 44.6. I'm going to take the order.
Welcome to Wendy's.
Widow 2-3.
I'm gonna kill
Titan 1-1. Ready for 8 line.
Roger that. 8 line is as follows. Ingress through
Widow
IP Alpha at
2-3.
bearing 179, distance of 2 kilometers.
Out. Over.
Target is enemy section at grid 0382 1368. Mark will be laser. There are no friendlies and egress south. Over.
They're waiting for Jammer to come in. What's he up to?
He's flying.
Titan 1-1. Say again, grid. Over.
Grid is
Alright, okay, he's transferring down to Echo.
2
I didn't realise you put
1368.
No, he's circling it. I think he's trying to find the laser.
It's on the roof.
Titan 1-1. Read back as follows.
Titan 1-3.
Ingress IP Alpha bearing 179. Distance of 2 kilometers. Enemy section in grid 0382 1368. Marked with laser. No friendlies and egress south.
Hello,
Over.
Titan 1-3. This is Widow 2-3.
Roger, read
Is
back
everything
correct.
alright,
Read back as follows. Use Brimstone as the enemy section is held within a
Yeah,
house.
so I'm
so
just
we'll
getting
reduce
used to the
costs.
aircraft, so I'm struggling quite a bit.
Widow 2-3.
Titan
Roger that.
1-1.
No rush.
Roger
Take your
that.
time.
Use Brimstone. Enemy in the house.
Once you've done this one,
Ingress ready.
once you've done this one, McFly set up a third one for Carter.
Roger.
I'll keep the lays for Jammer.
Hopefully they don't engage each other's targets.
I've purposely got my laser off at this moment just for that.
Okay.
Inform me when he's going in.
Or Jammer?
No, when
Hendrix, okay.
Hendrix is going in for the strike.
Where's Jammer supposed to... He's coming through Echo, isn't he? Or...
Yeah. I think he's doing another circle.
Widow 2-3, this is
Doing
Titan
this, okay.
1-3. Any chance you could use the laser just so I can get see what it looks like?
Widow 2-3. The target is already lased. Over.
So yeah, Jammer, just get a look through your camera and take it into thermals mode by pressing N until you reach thermals, and then just look for
Fly.
the white dot.
Send it.
Okay. Do I
Will it help by
just fire the
flashing?
Brimstone?
Negative at this moment. My laser's off.
Say again, sorry?
Jammer.
You could just like wiggle it a bit left and right. And
Yeah,
just,
but it also
look
mean
for
like,
moving lays.
can I just like, do I have to lock on?
Like just
And then
just
it'll
look
show me
a
when to
bit left
fire.
and right of the target.
Yeah, Roger. When you lock on, it should show you the little diamond, I believe.
Widow 2-3.
Oh,
Titan
yeah, and then
1-3.
we'll,
I'm wiggling
same,
the
and then
laser
no
to
one
try and
will-
help you
Thank
see it. Over.
Waiting for your laser.
Roger.
I'm gonna go for it, he's waiting for me.
Roger. Titan,
Titan
lasers
1-3.
hot. Clear to ingress.
Widow 2-3, stopping lays while Titan 1-2 ingresses over.
Titan 1-1, ingressing now.
Widow 2-3, roger that. I have visual on the laser now,
the
so
laser
thank you.
out of the building. I know.
Be advised, Jammer, that is the laser for the other aircraft because there's 2 lasers that will be happening. So, but at least you know what it looks like now. So once Henrix has done his bombing,
Here he
yours
comes.
will
He's
come
going
on,
past
and then
IP
afterwards
Alpha.
You'll have to do yours. Okay.
He's flying over. He hasn't told me he's rocketed or anything.
Okay, I'll have to go again.
Oh, he's going again.
He's not released.
For some
No,
reason, it stopped locking when I went out of camera. Can it be I've made too much of a steep maneuver?
Potentially, whenever. I'm trying to remember now.
Right.
Hello, Titan 1-3, this is Widow 2-3. Inform me whenever you are releasing.
I remember the
Stopping my
brimstone
laser
can fire
hot. Over.
at pretty harsh angles, but yeah, you might have been a bit too high for it.
Widow 2-3,
Yeah,
roger
so
that. I'm just making a
when I
turn now
was
to IPF.
actually going in, I could lock onto something, but I wasn't 100% sure it was the one you're looking for. So I'll try again
Right, is
and
Hendrix setting back
the
up?
craft in the right direction, then lock on via my camera, and
again.
and see if that works.
Roger, sounds good. Yeah, you could have potentially been locking onto other vehicles, so yeah, just make sure it's my laser.
Yep, roger that. Better say this.
Hello, Titan 1-3, this is Widow 2-3. If you just want to do circuit for now while Titan 1-2 ingresses and does his mission, just so you don't crash into each other. Over.
Ready for laser?
Roger, laser's hot.
Roger that.
Geez, fuel status on all of them. I have to give them. I might just have to refuel them.
Yeah,
Right,
just Zeus refuel them.
Stupid spittle script.
I want to use the what is it, the vanilla infrared AA thing again. The one that shot us down on Brimstone. That was a spicy AA
The one that
piece.
shot the Chinook?
Yeah.
Yeah, bastard.
The problem was I tested it using the F-35, and the F-35 obviously have scripts for stealth and shit.
Hmm.
So the AI
Titan 1-1,
didn't shoot
rock,
the
rock, rock.
F-35, but then it just shot the Chinook from
rocket
a million miles.
Probably means right. Hey, there we go.
Alright, and he's fired it off.
Oh, there's still a guy alive in there.
Hello, Titan 1-3, this is Widow 2-3. Ingress when ready. Over.
Titan, PDA Bravo. Somehow there's still 2 guys alive in there, but we'll
That's
call
what you
it
get for
Alpha.
using a Brimstone, SME.
Roger that, so it was a good hit
Widow
then?
2-3, roger that.
Yeah,
Make a
good
quick
hit,
circuit
target.
around currently at IP Alpha.
Tell him specifically monitor
Okay,
4.5.
came back to
Do not
4.5.
contact.
Oh, okay.
Tell him monitor.
Yeah, feel free to monitor for 4.5.
I want to see if he actually contacts.
Yeah, stupid Brimstone.
Hello, Widow 2-3, this is Titan 1-1, back on the net. I'm in HS Lexington, ready for next task.
Right,
Widow 2-3, roger that. Maintain HS Lexington. Over.
I hate saying HS.
Titan 1-1, roger that, maintaining HS
I say
Lexington.
hold on a second.
Can't
Prepare
believe
one
all of
for
them.
Carter if you could, McFly. Unless
Yeah,
okay,
I'm on
perfect.
it.
Lovely.
Well, I'm just preparing the next one, put it that way.
Titan 1-2, sorry.
Current speed is 326.
Wrong there?
Yeah, it was the wrong net. I don't know.
There's a lot to unpack this evening. This is Jammer's first time in the fast jets, isn't it?
This is their first time both flying the fast jet. Normally we do it a bit of practice before ever introducing you guys into the mix.
Yeah.
But we're cracking straight into it right now.
That's fine. I'm happy for them to be shit if it's the first time they do it.
Titan 1-2, Seagull message. Carter, Seagull message.
He's 1-1, I believe.
No,
Is he?
that's Hendrix. Hendrix is 1-1, and then 1-3 is Jammer.
Go ahead.
Currently, you should be able to have a free opening for a You'll have a free opening for a 8-line momentarily. They'll contact you when they have it ready. So just be on standby to get that, and after that, we'll count that as a good enough for you.
Hey, Widow 2-3, this is Titan 1-3, requesting lays.
Sweet, yeah. I'm
Widow
ready to-
2-3, lays hot, over.
Roger that.
Lays hot, lays hot.
I'll put it like on the top of.
Right, and
So
then
it's on the roof. It's on the top of the roof. Like if you can't see it, I don't know what's going on.
and yeah, and then And then yeah, pretty much if you could send cards at 44.6, that would also be great.
Yeah, ready. When he's on it. What time is it? 1-2.
He's 1-2.
Well,
But I don't know if he's on your net yet.
no, I'm just curious.
Hopefully it'll be a bit less chaotic in an actual operation, because
Well, we won't have 3 Typhoons all requesting an 8-line, so...
No, that'll definitely not happen. And technically, the flight lead for the Typhoons would be coordinating the whole thing with them.
Shit, he's coming, he's coming.
He's coming, but I've not heard
That's the
anything.
right area. Well, it's okay. We'll let it be.
I've not heard a pick or call or anything.
Oh, he's dropped something.
Pickle.
Oh, there we go.
Is fuel tank?
Huh?
Oh yeah, shit, I see it on the C-tab. Oh, it's going!
Can you see it on the C-tab? Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Ooh, that made a nice bang.
Yep.
Lol, they're all still alive.
Yeah, they're all still fucking alive.
Widow
Fucking
2,
hate armor.
3, VDA, Bravo. Good job hitting the target over.
Why? Fucking Russians.
Why are they still? Are they even wounded? Let me go check.
I didn't see any blood on the floor, put it that way. They look like they don't give a shit.
Titan 1-3, returning to HLS Lexington.
Pilly, you got to buff your ordnance, mate.
Buff my ordnance.
Correction,
Do you know how much
HS.
blood is already in that thing? Do we need
Mate,
any
Russia-
more of that?
It's something to do with the. I think it's something to do with the building absorbing all of the blast and
Yeah,
blast
but-
not transferring through the walls or stuff.
Yeah, but the explosion can't get any more powerful than that. Otherwise, now it'll be ridiculous at that point.
No, I don't think it's about the explosion size. I think it's about the building just absorbing it. So
I guess it's doing a good job protecting them, which is why they're in it. So
yeah. In fact, I'll get him to. Can I get him to repeat the previous tasking?
You can, and also you can get. Actually, I'll just transfer.
Yeah, just transfer Carter to McFly.
Keely.
Hello, Titan 1-3. This is Widow 2-3. Message over.
Widow 2-3, send your message.
Widow 2-3. Repeat previous tasking. Over.
Widow 2-3, roger that.
Titan 1-2, Seagull message. Or if you can just actually do it.
Me?
No, if Peach could do it.
This is Titan 1-2 on
Peach,
frequency 44.5. Go ahead.
Jeez. Switch frequency 44.6 for tasking.
He's getting a bit frustrated, I see.
I don't know why he's getting frustrated. Or
Okay.
maybe his radio's just working.
That was always frustrating.
Pretty much. Sorry, McFly, I've transferred him to you.
Aww.
Titan 1-2 44.6.
Coming in again. Is Jammer coming in again? There we go.
Roger ahead, time 1-2. Tell me when you're ready for 8-line tasking over.
Hey fam, just about to make a turn. As soon as I make this turn, fly level, I'll be with you.
What's he doing? Why is he circling again?
Don't know.
He's trying to.
He should still have the target from before, unless he moved the thing.
Do you need to lock onto the lasers for the bombs to?
Yes.
Right.
But
I
it should
used
be
to
still
not
locked
to.
on. I mean, technically, it will just follow the nearest laser if there's multiple ones.
Right. So.
But locking on is just like an extra safety measure.
Right.
Go ahead,
Because
straight line.
I think the problem he's having
Weather
at the
A line
moment
is as
is
follows: ingress through IP
he's trying to
Alpha
spot the laser
at
and lock
bearing
onto it.
179.
You can just put the camera.
Distance is 1.8
Yeah.
kilometers. Target is infantry section at grid 0380
It might be worth
1386.
informing him in the future that
Mark
you can
will
just
be
drop a
laser.
little guiding on the
There
laser.
are no friendlies and egress south. Over.
Because obviously, I know it's his first time in the jet, but obviously in an operation you couldn't be waiting.
This
Couldn't be
will
waiting
the
around
training
for a
grid,
weekend.
but I won't be.
Roger, grid is 0380
No, I understand that it's his first time, so I
1386.
don't mind too much. But just as long as he
He's
isn't doing
coming
like.
again. I think he got the lock on this time. He's coming back.
Hey,
Well, he got to about he got to the air marker
IP
before he
Alpha, bearing
broke away last
179,
time. So
1.8 meters,
He's coming again.
1.8
User
K,
your channel timed out.
infantry,
yeah, his
infantry
definition of
section
coming
grid
in through the IPs is a bit loose.
0380.
We'll talk about that.
136. Mark will be a laser and egress south.
Roger, that's correct.
You can probably
Remaps
release the
are
bombs
used
a lot
brimstone
earlier,
for
can't
reduced
they?
collateral.
He can do it before he gets.
Pickle. It's a bit late, Colt.
I don't see no pickle on the
He marks
detail,
back
but
with
let's see where.
for less collateral.
Oh, did you do it?
Yep.
What the fuck?
I don't think it's the building anymore. I think the
Yeah.
weapons are just fucked.
Are they just in like? Is there something? I bet it's something to do with the headless climb. 123 BDA
Alpha.
Bravo.
Alpha. It's Alpha.
Alpha. Over.
Don't put his confidence down.
Well, he knows what Bravo is. Hit that's still active.
Yeah, but technically they would be dead. Like that's ridiculous.
I have no fucking clue what's going on there.
Oh well. Maybe the infantry dying is.
I think it's got something to do with the way the headless climb is working because they've not even taken any damage.
Titan 1-2, feel free to ingress from radio.
I shall kill them
I
myself.
mean, the Spittle has the headless
Hey,
climb
man,
set up in
stand
a
by.
weird way. Normally it's supposed to be a separate computer doing the headless client, but Spittle's got Debbie also being the headless client for her own game.
Yeah, I keep telling them like we basically got 4 separate servers.
Yeah.
Can
that
you
all
just
connect up
wiggle
and
the
try and synchronize and
It's actually 2
laser
separate
about
servers.
over?
yeah, but
Because
you
Yeah,
get the
Roger, I
point.
can wiggle it about, however, I'm pointing it to the south, so you may only
It's
see
like,
it when
put
you're
the AI down,
off
stuff
the
starts getting snatched away from you, and like weird stuff starts happening whenever you give them garrison orders and stuff. And
Hey, firm, I'll get set
just a
up on
Yeah,
IP Alpha for a long,
yeah, can
for a
we?
long run in.
We just need the new server, and then we need to.
Oh, did they just die?
No, I killed them.
Okay.
I pressed end on them.
Just going up to Ancona, can you just end these guys, please?
Yeah, we killed them. There's even a
Who
crate.
landed a bomb on their head? They're not dead.
So I don't know what's going on. I reckon it has something to do with the garrison order and the headless client snatching them.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what's
Because the guys next to the BMP died, no problem.
Has
true,
Carter,
And then the guys in the other building, one of them died eventually.
Carter was asking for the laser, but I told him you won't see it from where you are. You'll need to move north of me to be able to see the laser. And he said, okay, I'll go for a long run in on Alpha. So that's the last communication I had with him. But
okay.
Where the
Let's see.
fuck was
It's getting
he?
pretty late, and he's going to the east. I don't know.
he
Well,
made
When
his
he,
RTV,
when he said
His
long, he
RTV.
fucking meant it. He's gone 10 k's to the east. Is he landing?
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like
He's flying over an airfield. Okay, no, he's not landing.
he's getting ready to go through wild.
He's going back.
He's just going to fly the whole breadth of Altus. Make
Mm.
sure he gets that
I'm
real
probably
wide
going to tell
run
the
up.
other two to just RTB and land, unless you guys want to do any more, because I just want them to have at least the basic experience of that. We'll
Yeah.
skip Storm Shadows for today, because that's a bit too much. I'll
Yeah,
use
I
Ancona.
think that them two need a little, or at least Jammer needs a little more practice in just getting the jet flying before we try this again. But
Yeah, I'll have them do essentially just some like homework where they practice in the editor by themselves. As long that's basically to tell them, hey, just instead of World 3 doing the laser thing, because basically I wanted you guys to do it just so that they know how it would
Where
work.
is he going? He's flying over the
And then-
infantry.
Okay, and
what
then
the fuck is he doing?
Anyways, and then afterwards I was just gonna have them then go practice it with setting up their own lasers to the exact same procedure.
Yeah.
But their lasers already looking where they're pointing, so that's the good part.
Oh yeah, Peach. It's if you get your laser out or SOFLAM,
Is it doing back?
and hold Control Alt and then press Q and E, and that changes your laser.
Yeah, I don't change it if it's now.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
just, as long as he knows.
That'll be useful for the future because we'll be able to laze stuff.
Yeah.
Even if we can just
Actually,
set the
you know
default
what?
channel to
No, we
like
could.
one.
I'm gonna
bring
get an
back 9
aircraft.
lines, but the 9th line will be what laser code it is.
Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get an aircraft as soon as I tell these guys to RTB. I'm then gonna have you both have your lasers up, one with one laser code down and one with the normal
Dead
laser
stick
code.
Carter on 44.6. Can you wiggle laser over?
Because what we might
Roger,
if this functions, I think what we'll do is we'll change our default laser code to like 112, 111.
And have all the pilots have one less.
No. So the current code we have is quadruple 1.
Eyes on
so we'll
laser.
change it to
Eyes on laser.
332.
Inbound now.
But
That way-
I also have to change it in order for my ordnance to guide to that code.
Yeah. I understand, but that way we
One
can't
time,
avoid any
rifle.
fuck ups from other retards waving around
All right,
lasers.
All right.
Hey, there we go.
Lovely.
Did he kill him?
Like fuck, he did.
No, he didn't.
He killed one of them. I see a leg.
Roger, BDA Alpha. Good work. Feel free to monitor.
That one was far more effective. You killed 2 of
Hey,
them, and
move
then
back.
2 of them survived in cover. So,
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, he should be back on 4.5 now.
Do we
Yeah,
want to
one
do
of-
another round, or do we just want to call it from there?
I think we
It's
call
past 10,
Okay.
so...
Okay.
4 past 10. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. On 44.5, I would actually like you guys to RTB. Take it in turns for landing. For Jam and Hendrix, I want you guys to do 1 touch and go each. So you'll touch down, then go straight ahead back into the air, and then come to a full stop on your second landing.
Would you like? Can we start whenever?
Affirmative. Sound off when ready and RTBing.
Titan 1-1 RTB.
Right. Do you want to jump in a plane? Helen?
Titan
Yeah.
1-2
We'll go ahead back and jump in
RTB.
then.
I'll be
And
behind
what we'll
everyone
do
else.
is there's 2 T90s down there, so we'll mark 1 each with different lasers, and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Okay.
With different laser codes. So I'll be 1112, and he'll be the normal one.
Okay. How do I change the laser code again?
220 was the landing.
Control Alt Q.
Q. Control
Or
Q.
Q and E
Q
cycle
and E.
up and down.
Control Alt Q and E. What fucking
Control
retarded.
Alt
Bye.
Q.
Well,
Okay,
I
I've just
changed
pressed
it
it now.
When I was in flight, I changed it to the up and down arrow on my keyboard.
Okay,
I got 2 on
Even though I
mine
never
now.
used it. But, you know.
Do you want to take the
Huh?
I guess the rear one.
Which I'll boss you over that. I'm still at almost a click, so you should be alright.
I think 1-1 is spooling.
Titan 1-2, tagging on behind.
Landing 1-1, departing on runway 22 left. Might be a wild. Three lightning 1-1 above you.
Lucy 3, send message over.
911, currently I have both lasers visible.
Widow 2-3, both lasers are hot, over.
Roger, unable to tell if it has switched laser codes.
Widow 2-3, roger that. One of them is 1112, and the other one is the regular laser code, so I guess fire and see which one it hits.
Is there a way to find out which one it is pointing towards?
So the 1112 is the first tank as they are facing the direction as they are along the road, and then the regular laser code is the second tank in the column.
Roger, locking onto the first laser. Be advised, the second laser is in the trees to the west of the first tank due to it not reaching the second one. So I can change laser codes.
Just to clarify, you've got the weapons set to code 1112, yeah?
Unable to tell which code it's on right now.
Ah, that's good fun.
It'd be nice if I could see it.
From what I tested, or when I was in flight or whatever, it usually popped up in the top right when I changed the laser code.
Negative, it's not popping on the right. Even I was expecting that as well.
There might be different key bindings for you then.
Have you tried it sort of in the camera pod and in the in just the pilot seat?
That is... yeah, Roger, I haven't tried that. It's not working. Or is it turret enhanced that gives it the code?
I don't think so. Maybe if you've got your laser on, you can change the code, but bun those.
That is correct. I can change the code when mine's on. Alright, give me the code to lock onto. Confirm 110.
Is 1112.
Roger, 1112.
I guess the best way to test this would be to just release the weapon and see which one it tracks in on.
Affirmative, that is the plan. I have set the aircraft to 1112. I will see what happens when I release the weapon.
Fireworks, I hope.
Seagull, this is Titan 1-1, message over.
Pickle, landing 1-1. Send.
Titan 1-1, did 2 landings, 1 touch and go, 1 full landing, taxiing back to Alpha 1. Okay, Vi, take off again, do some more practice and flying.
Yeah, affirmative. Feel free to use that time to do some more practice.
Titan 1-1.
223, that's BDA Alpha, over.
Confirm on the correct lasered vehicle.
It is indeed, it hit the correct target.
Roger, just for checking, could you pick a random laser code and not tell me which one is which? I'm not going to pay attention, and then I'm just going to drop it around the same area and see if it picks the correct one again.
023, roger that, picking a random laser code, and feel free to go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, and also offset them a little bit from each other, so maybe one on each side of the road, so I don't know which side it's going to pick.
Just to confirm, Pelly, you want us both on random ass lasers?
Both of you can be on random lasers, and then just tell me which one. Just give me the code of one that you want me to hit, and I don't know which one it is technically. I'll just launch in the rough area of both of them and see which way the bomb goes. Because I want to test and see if it will choose the correct one automatically on its own.
Roger, laser code then is 1115.
Roger, 1115. Ready? Let me know when I should ingress.
Roger, ingress when ready.
Repositioning, and then we'll ingress. Landing 1-1, pickle.
Widow 2-3 hit my laser rather than McFly's, so I'm not sure their laser codes are functioning.
Yeah, seems laser code's not functioning unless it's like a self-laze. So at the moment there's still no way to properly identify two lasers apart from just telling us which one is which. Maybe ITC Air would fix that. Unknown at this point.
Well, let's be honest, in reality we're not going to have more than one aircraft dropping bombs at a time probably, so...
Yeah, my plan for multiple aircraft dropping bombs at the same time would be to have one laze for Widow 2-3 to indicate the targets, and then every aircraft self-lasers around that target.
Sounds good to me.
So yeah, otherwise I'm going to RTB and I'll meet you guys back at the Gravia. Are the infantry still at their little area, or they've moved on to, or they moved to?
No, I think they've indexed, so...
Yeah, index just got called, so...
Okay, roger, RTB.
We're just gonna dial out.
Alright, roger. I'll meet you in debrief, I guess. Or after your debrief.
User left your channel.
Alright, all airframes, RTB, and then index once on the ground.
User left your channel.
AFAM, be advised, Lightning 1, 2, and 1, 3 are on the ground, waiting for Hendrix.
User left your channel. 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 User left your channel.
Lightning 1-1 will rejoin behind Titan for long final.
Roger ATC, back to runway, it's clear for aircraft.
User joined your channel. User left your channel.
Javier, space, Titan 1-1, touchdown, leaving runway via Alpha 2, taxiing back to terminal via Alpha, then Charlie 2, then Charlie.
911 long final, runway 22 left.
Does this thing have reverse thrust as well?
Yes, but I wouldn't use it because it's technically not supposed to have. Plus those one tested on those airplanes.
Index.
On the ICs call that NES index.
User left your channel.
Okay.
Yeah, huh?
I think it went well.
Channel switched.